for bigger firms. Visit www.wavewomenenergy.com to sign up. You can also visit any bank of industry office in Edo, Gombe, and Kano, or any branch of Access Bank, Jais Bank, Wema Bank, SunTrust Bank for additional information. This project is sponsored by Islamic Development Bank with the federal government support through the Bank of Industry.
The purpose is for quality assurance. And later on, we're going to do what we call a post-test. So that post-test will now tell us what has been the effect of this workshop on your knowledge. We're hoping to see an increased knowledge. So kindly take just about 7 minutes or 8 minutes to complete the pre-test. You will not be disturbed at all. And then later on, as we go on in the workshop, we are going to do the post-test plus the evaluation. The evaluation is to assess your level of satisfaction and quality of the workshop. Thank you.
You have 5 more minutes, please, so that we can get on with the other activities. Thank you.
So, thank you very much for your cooperation. This an activity will still take place before the closing of the event, also to gauge our knowledge on generally the discussions we'll be having here today. So please join me and welcome the regional manager for the Bank of Industry, Mr. Parkins Irabo, for the welcome address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's afternoon right now, because we are very close to our tour. It gives me great pleasure to be in your midst. And what an awesome time we are going to be having in the next 2 or 3 hours together. Let me start by appreciating our stakeholders here. We have our peers from the Ministry of Wealth Creation. Mr. Joel, you are welcome. I want to appreciate our people from organized private sector. I've seen people from Maxima. I've everyone that have come to join us for this promotional workshop. I want to say a big thank you to you. I don't intend to take your time at all. I just want to go straight to what I've been asked to do. I will be providing a sort of remark about the business resident assistance for value-adding enterprise, which is Brave Women. This is the initiative we have come to promote today, and we believe that in doing this, our women will be further empowered to create wealth, because when you empower women, you are building the community. Everything you give to a woman, you are sure that it will cascade down to our children. But if you give it to a man, it goes round for the whole nation. So once again, you are welcome. I am standing in the shoe of the Executive Director of SME, Mr. Omar Shakara. He's supposed to be the one giving this speech, but he has detailed me to do this on his behalf. So representatives of the federal and state government, as well as various governmental agencies present, trade and commerce, finance and women affairs, Sweden, and my fellow colleagues from the Bank of Industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen present here today, physical and as well, I want to salute those that are watching or joining us virtually on Facebook. It is my distinct pleasure to be here today at a promotional workshop and to deliver a few remarks. This is the third of the 3 workshops that have taken place already. This is the third one. We have been to 2 other cities already. And Edo State is the third one that we'll be having for this promotional workshop. The purpose of which is to officially launch and to raise awareness about the Brave Women Nigeria project. I'm very sure as the heartbeat of the nation that Edo women will not be last. We will fill all the available slots for this initiative. The program, the application portal already open. How many of you are aware of that? Please, you will do us well to create enough awareness about this through various associations in your churches, in any platform that you belong to. Please, it is not meant for only one person. You will not be doing well to know this and keep it to yourself. So in your churches, in your mosques, in your business platforms, please share the links and let everybody that qualifies in the targeted setup, give them the opportunity to apply. That is the reason why we are here. I'm delighted that we are coming together to support women and women business activity at a time like this. We definitely require that everybody in the society, every economic agent in society, both male and female, be empowered so that we can have sustainable growth and development of our great nation. Women play a central role in ensuring stability, progress, and long-term development in economies. Globally, they comprise about 43% of the world agricultural labor force, rising to 70% in some countries. For instance, across Africa, 80% of the agricultural production comes from small farmers, most of whom are rural women. Thus, women also play a key role in reducing poverty. Despite these advantages, the reality is that our women do not receive as many opportunities as men. In fact, women are likely to access financial institutions less than men. It is reported that 58% of women have an account at a formal financial institution compared to 65% of men. So to address some of these challenges, the World Bank, in collaboration with government from 14 countries, established the Women Entrepreneurship Finance Initiative, called WIFI. The Brave Women Program is one of the initiatives backed by WIFI, and it is being executed in Nigeria by the Bank of Industry on behalf of the Islamic Development Bank, IDB. I will allow the project manager, later you'll be hearing details about this initiative from the project manager of Brave Women Nigeria. The Brave Women Nigeria project is part of BOI's larger mandate and effort to support women-run businesses in Nigeria. BOI is the Nigeria's oldest, largest, and most successful BFI in the country. So we already have programs running for the specific empowerment of women. Our mandate as a bank is to provide two things. We provide you financial support, and we also provide you business support services towards the startup and the expansion of micro, small, and medium enterprises. We also help you to diversify towards existing businesses, and those that are ailing. If you have moribund companies around, Bank of Industry's job is to see that we are able to revamp such ailing businesses. So accordingly, we play a significant role in supporting Nigerian businesses by providing innovative financial support, mostly through single-digit interest rates. I can tell you for free that Bank of Industry offers the most competitive interest rate in the country. So when we are talking about providing 5% interest loan to businesses across the state of the nation, that is not 5% per month. We are talking about 5% per annum. That gives you an interest rate of 0.43% per month. It is only the devil that can go wrong with such a facility. You take that kind of money from Bank of Industry, your business must move forward. Say your business must move forward. So Bank of Industry have been doing this for years, and in a few weeks, we will yet be announcing another matching fund with the Edo State government. So get ready, Edo State business, this is the best time to be a businessman in Edo State. There is another fund that is being created between Bank of Industry and the Edo State government. We will be unveiling that very soon. So just keep tab and be watching Bank of Industry program, because within this month or next month, we'll be unveiling another fund for businesses in Edo State. BOI has established gender desk to cater specifically to female entrepreneurs. We have successfully disbursed close to 100 billion to over 1,005 women-led enterprises. In addition to financial support, the gender desk also provides much-needed business advisory and capacity building services, leveraging our strategic partnership with more than 300 business development service providers nationwide. BOI is also collaborating with the African Development Bank to launch the 300 million AFAWA Fund, an initiative that is expected to unlock 3 billion in private sector financing to empower female entrepreneurs through capacity building development. The fund will grant women access to finance as well as spearhead legal policy and regulatory reforms to support enterprises led by women. Furthermore, the bank invested 10 million in the Alitia Fund, also towards supporting Nigerian women-led businesses. These are just a few of the initiatives that the bank is leveraging to support female entrepreneurs. As we continue with the event today and in the subsequent week, I want to close by encouraging you all to view BOI as an able and willing partner to spur entrepreneurship and development in Nigeria. Personally, I believe that the sustainable growth and development of Nigerian economy cannot exist without the equal participation of both our male and female citizens. So please, ladies and gentlemen, I want to re-echo again that this is one of the best programs that can come the way of women, because it's not just providing you funds, it's going to be providing you capacity. There are two things you need to try. You need capacity and you need resources.
Bank of Industry hold resources, and we also help you to acquire capacity. But the evil that we have found in Nigeria is that many people are looking for resources without capacity. And those that have resources are looking for those that have capacity. So this program is a bridge. It's going to equip you with the capacity and the capability you need, so that whenever the resources come to you, you will be able to take it to the next level. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best on this program.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate it. Okay, so we'll be taking goodwill messages. We'll be taking goodwill messages from Edo State government representatives. We would like to kick off by starting with the Ministry of Wealth Creation. They are represented by the Permanent Secretary himself, Mr. Joel Adonwe. Please help me welcome him.
Good afternoon, everybody. Permit me to adopt the existing protocol. However, I'd like to especially acknowledge my friend, because we are going to be playing in this space for some time, and my sister who is coordinating the break program. The rest persons you are seeing here are my colleagues and partners, and so it's a pleasure having all of us in the house. I want to particularly appreciate the Bank of Industry and the coordinator of this program. Whatever the selection criteria was, I think we are favored. 3 countries to pilot, 3 states to pilot. Even when it was coming from the Islamic Development Bank, Edo State, one way or the other, met that selection criteria. Thank you so much. I also like to quickly remark that in reaching to enterprise owners, particularly women, Edo State is privileged because we have active stakeholders who are already doing what this program is intended to accomplish. And therefore, we're going to find a smooth ride with our people. Rest assured, Bank of Industry and the coordinator, that this program in Edo State will be a huge success. For us as a government, we are also glad that some of the concerns we have is what this program is addressing. First of all, giving access to credit, advisory services to businesses, capacity building, and the like. This is very germane because, like the last speaker said, if you have the resources and you don't have capacity to deploy, we're not going to make any headway. We would like to see this as the beginning of the thriving partnership in deploying resources to businesses and seeing the return on our effort. Like he said, in a few weeks from now, we're going to be going through this exercise over and over again, so that businesses in Edo State will have the needed finances to expand and also create wealth on the long run. For us in Edo State and Edo State government, this partnership with Bank of Industry is over a decade, and some of their products are already helping businesses here, and we tend to leverage on whatever the Bank of Industry and all other development finance institutions will do for us. Once again, I want to say we make the best of this promotional sensitization and stakeholders meeting, so that at the end of it all, we'll look back and say, thank you, brave women, thank you, Bank of Industry, and that we'll make the best of this opportunity. Once again, good afternoon, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate. Quickly, we'll be moving to the Ministry of Gender and Social Development. Please, do we have a representative here from the ministry? All right. We move to, do we have a representative from the Edo Skills Development Agency, Edo Jobs?
But they may not have from different from gender ministry. But I'm glad to introduce somebody who for many years have been Knowledge Commissioner and Ministry Special Advisor, Coordinator. I just want to make a few remarks on that.
All right, ma'am.
This is all.
You're welcome, ma'am. Please help me welcome now.
Thank you, PS. Permit me to stand on already established protocol. My name is Magdalene Onye, former Commissioner, Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development in the last administration. I will want to take it up from where the PS of Wealth Creation stopped. For me, I think it's a welcome development because I believe that you can only give what you have. And that is the area of capacity building. Like he said, you may have the fund. If you don't know how to manage the fund, you will agree with me that you will remain poor. And what this grant is meant to do for the women of Edo State is to lift them from the level they are right now to a higher level. So the area of helping them to know more about their businesses, how to manage it, and how to be successful, for me, is a very welcome development. And having given this capacity building, I think the next thing, which has always been the problem of women, is getting the fund. And here we are made to understand that if we have little of our own, then this initiative will be matching it up for us. I think with this, I believe that Edo women is ready, they are available, and by the special grace of God, I'm sure by the time this initiative is being implemented, we will have women better placed in Edo State. I also would like to say, like the PS mentioned, the BOI has done a lot already. They partner with the Edo State government before now. This is just another one. And we're also glad to hear that even after this, we'll be having other more initiatives that will be rolled out, which will also benefit the women of Edo State. The men will have to pardon me because for me, I'm interested, as far as this project is concerned, I'm interested in the women because the women have they've been over marginalized. A lot of our women are not able to go into politics because when they think of the finance that is involved, they will just want to remain in the cooler. I'm sure by the time our women are doing businesses and they are becoming successful, for those ones that would not want to be part of politics, they will be able to sponsor the ones that are interested and will be able to also put our own contribution to whatever the government of Edo State is doing. So I want to thank the Bank of Industry, the initiators of this program. For us in Edo State is a welcome development, and be rest assured, just like our brother that spoke before the PS told us that this awareness should be created in churches, in mosques. In fact, the page is already rolling. Our women, when you get it, you are expected to take it to the next woman close to you, who of course is doing a small business there. I'm very sure that by the grace of God, this program will be successful in Edo State. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, please, do we have a representative from the Ministry of Agriculture? Edo State Ministry of Agriculture. Okay, we'll move to the next item on the event. I'll be introducing Ms. Amaka for a very brief activity, a very little
So please, we would like to request for your cooperation and see that we achieve that. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Amaka Obi, and I'm the Marketing and Communications Officer on this project, so it's my pleasure to welcome you all to this very wonderful occasion. So if you would just join me for like 5 minutes, I will say that I'll prevent the audience to go downstairs so that we can take a group photograph of this event, because if we don't snap it, it didn't happen. So please can you join me downstairs so that we can just take a very quick snapshot of all of us with our smiling faces and our face masks. Thank you. Yes, please.
The project aims to provide assistance, support to creating a resilient business environment in Nigeria by combining elements of capacity building, training, business advisory support, and so on, business clinics, along with the grant matching facility. So ideally it's the two together. But anybody who registers successfully at least will have the opportunity to partake in the capacity building. And the overall objective is that we have, as I said before, an enabling business environment, particularly on that tough times. So it's important for us to note that a big part of this is not the normal let's help businesses grow and thrive. It's let's help businesses grow and thrive in spite of challenges in the business environment. I think we can all agree, certainly if not in the last 4 to 5 years, last year with the lockdown, the challenges of COVID since then, things haven't been business as usual. But the idea is that even with those kind of circumstances, and then when you think of states like Gombe, Kano, they are located in parts of the country where insecurity poses an additional challenge to businesses in those environments. The idea is that the intervention here will help businesses to keep going, because enterprise is a key, SMEs are key drivers of the economy. And aside from that, a lot of the businesses that are targeted are in key sectors. I'll speak to those in a minute. And then you see those 4 pillars there, they speak to the pillars of the components, we call them. So capacity building, the business resilience support, one stream of the grant matching, value chain resilience, another stream of the grant matching, and then everything is happening on this IT platform. So it's transparent. There's no go and see Michael in his office and if you do magic there. Everything goes through that platform. And again, it's useful for all of us to know what we're doing here is not brand new. It's tested and tried. There's a sister project in Yemen, and for those of us who've been following, Yemen over the last decade or so, they've really been in a situation with conflict. But a project like this has been implemented there, and they've recorded some degree of success. So if it can work in Yemen, there's no reason it can't work here. There's also a sister project in Burkina Faso who should be where we are now in the next year or so. So it's good to know that we're not alone. There's we're part of this wider global program going on. And while BOI was appointed as the executing agency in 2019, the framework agreement that really kicked this off and made it active was signed just around the lockdown last year. And the current phase of the project, this phase with the application runs until 2023. And we already know the geographical scope, but for the benefit of those who don't know, we're focusing on Edo, Kano, and Gombe states in this phase. So 3 out of our 36 states and the federal capital. In terms of our direct beneficiaries, there are 3 classes of them. So, you know, we talk a lot about women businesses, but it's not just businesses that women own. There are also businesses that women may not own or have majority control, but they manage those businesses, you know. So when we think about our SMEs, I always tell them, but it's not even the women, it's their business that is benefiting. So businesses that are based in an SMEs, so that's another thing, small, medium enterprises, not our micro enterprises this time. Small, medium enterprises that are based, either registered or you have a branch in at least one of the 3 focal states. 51% plus of the shares, if it's a limited liability, is in the hands of a woman. If it's a business registered name, again, even if you don't have your memorandum, that document that shows the list of directors and all of that, you have an agreement that shows how, you know, stake is shared and so on and so forth. And we need to be able to see that at least 51% of that is a woman or women that hold it. For businesses that are managed, or we say led by women, they don't have majority ownership, but at least 30% of the stake is in the hands of women or a woman. And then for businesses that have a board of directors, we need to see that at least 20% of your board are women. And they are playing leadership positions. So your CEO, vice president, you know, that kind of key leadership positions. When we think about our first category of beneficiaries. The second are the ones we call the lead firms. So these ones are more your medium. So one of the criteria for determining whether a business is micro, small, or medium is the turnover. Small and medium enterprises run between 10 million naira a year to 100 million naira a year. Please correct me if I'm wrong, sir, or that please. But as 10 to 100 million naira. Small and medium. Their business turnover in a year. It could be more than. Okay. So that even expands the scope a bit. Our lead firms are more likely to be on the higher end. They have commercial links with, you know, we said at least 20 MSMEs. So businesses supply you or you supply them with your services. They are not bound to, they must not be Edo, Kano, or Gombe, but they should have commercial links, relationships in at least one of those states. Then we call them value chain influencers. So what we mean by that is on national platforms, when they talk, everybody, you know, we are giving ear to them because of their experience, because of the level of fund. They have influence, to put it in a word. And then they have a history of innovations. I like to use the example of cowbell. Now, Hypo Bleach puts bleach inside sachets. We put fried oil, power oil inside sachets. But I'm sure we all remember, our elders here, you remember that it was cowbell that introduced this idea of sacheting things. Before then it was tin, we were having our milk inside tin or those big tins. Cowbell brought this innovation, and now they completely changed the way we think about packaging household items. A lead firm is that sort of business. You know, they have a practice for setting trends. So those are the kind of businesses we have in mind. And then another thing is they are willing to invest money for research, development, 2 to 5 years. They are not looking to get return on investment. I put money now and within 1 year I must see the benefits. They don't mind doing mid to long term investments. So those are the when we think of the big firms, that's the kind of profile we have in mind. Our business associations, and this includes cooperatives, so don't mind the grammar that we're speaking. Business association just refers to organizations that come together mainly for, in our own case, business interests, right? So our cooperatives fall under this umbrella. Again, like the big firms, they are national in their operation. So those of us that export, organize ourselves, the Women Exporters Group, you will have members, not just in one particular place, but spread across the country. Those of us that do palm oil, I'm sure we have members spread across the federation. And again, as I said, you may not necessarily be registered in one of the 3 local states, but your active membership will find active memberships in at least one of those states. Your body is willing to make investments, again, mid to long-term investments that will help your members access information, access products, access services that will help their own business. And then this thing of economies of scale. The more we are, the cheaper we can access certain things. That's something that the cooperative or the association, tend to do. They organize trainings, they help their members buy certain equipment or goods for their businesses, but they don't spend as much as if they go alone and they buy those things. Then in terms of general requirements for all the groups of beneficiaries, they must be able to make, let me talk about the grants first, because I know everybody is interested in the grants. They must be able to make a matching contribution. I'll talk about how much the amount is shortly, but let's keep that in mind. Whatever amount you are going to ask for, your association, your business is going to ask for, you must be willing to put the same amount on the table for the purpose that you're asking you for, or requesting for it. We need to see evidence that you've been operating for 12 months. And at this point, I want to take the opportunity to say, your business may not even be formally registered with CAC yet for you to be able to apply. But by the time you are asking us, you are applying for the grants, if you are not a formally registered business, you don't have your business name, you don't have, or if it's a limited company, you don't have your RC registration, TIN number. For those of us that are into pharmaceuticals or you deal with food items, we need to see your NAFDAC registration. And then Sweden now is asking for a certificate. By the time you are submitting, and that will be in another maybe 6 months or so, God willing, keeping us alive. By the time you are submitting for the grant, if we don't see those things, then we will have to tell you no. But at this point, you don't have a corporate bank account. You don't have, as long as you can give us evidence, and the evidence is things like you rented a shop, or even if you are doing your business from your house, we can see, that that's the thing. You can give us evidence that that's where your place of business is. You don't have a corporate account, but money is moving in your personal account. Or if you don't like the bank, you keep your cash. There's records, there are receipts. You have a book where you note yourself exactly. We need to see that for at least the last 12 months. If we can see that and we can confirm that, then even things like number of staff. SMEs usually have between 2 to 99 people working for them. By the time we come, because we will do our verification, by the time we come, we see your business, we can see that there are people, at least 2 people, yourself and another person working in that business minimum. We have the evidence that we need, right? So These are general requirements, and those are some of the things we can use to provide the evidence that we're asking for. Then, very important, remember I said earlier that we're targeting key sectors of the economy. Everybody needs to eat. Everybody needs to wear clothes. If you are not feeling fine, there needs to be medicine or healthcare. We need energy to be able to power our businesses and our homes. And education is vital. So for any economy, these are key vital sectors. And for us on the project, these are the sectors we are prioritizing. So I would say priority because if we see applications from other sectors that are strong applications, we'll consider them. But that will be after we have looked for, that's why they are our priority sectors. We'll put them first, we'll consider them first. But please, if you have strong applications, you meet the requirements, and you have strong applications you have from other sectors, don't count yourself out. Submit that application, have a conversation with us, and we'll take it from there. Now the intervention itself. So remember the first pillar, that first pillar is around capacity building. For us here on the project, there's going to be training delivered to those who are registered and selected. So you meet the criteria, we confirm all of that. At least 600 firms, and that includes not just our small and medium enterprises, the business associations, the big firms, will all benefit from the training. There's a standard curriculum, so whatever they are going to be training the people of Edo State, the businesses and associations of Edo State, is the same sort of content that will guide the trainings in Kano or Gombe State. So we're not going to do one thing with you here and then do something else elsewhere. The examples, of course, will be different because the contexts are different. But at its core, it's the same curriculum. Then there will be business development support. There will be firms based here in Edo State. They know your terrain, so we're not bringing people from elsewhere. It will be BDSs that are here with you in Edo State. They will be the ones to deliver the trainings. They will provide support to you with preparing a business continuity plan. And that plan is a key part of your application for the grants. Because the money that is given to you will be meant for implementing whatever is in that plan. And then for those who are successful with getting the grants, the BDSOs will continue to provide you with help and support until you are done, until the end of your agreement, for your grant agreement. Then we'll be having business clinics. So every 3 months or so, in each of the states, we organize clinics around particular topics. Things like record keeping, what happened. Again, the idea, as we said, is the resources will be made available. There's already a lot of experience and expertise in all the businesses and associations. But there are some areas where we all agree that there can be some improvement. So that next time another initiative, or you even want to meet the bank, your records are in order, your business is in order, it's well packaged, for this kind of support. And then we are going to be having business-to-business events. So again, an opportunity for all the players, from micro all the way up to large scale in each sector. You come together, spend time together, form links, form connections, agree consensus on how to take your sector forward. We're having 5, 6 of those maximum in the space of the project. So there's actually quite a bit planned for us to do just under that aspect of the project. Then I'll come next to our grant matching scheme. And if you remember, I talked about business resilience support, and then I talked about value chain resilience. So under business resilience support, this one is targeted at our small and medium enterprises that are owned or managed by women. The amounts that are available for the grants are between $5,000 US to $15,000 US, or Naira equivalent. So those of us that need to purchase things from outside, the dollar will be available. Those who are buying locally can get the naira equivalent. And as I said, if you're asking for, let's say your business is something you need to do. A school, somebody has a school, they want to buy a school bus, or they want to build hostel or expand contribute towards expanding the classrooms or the facilities. You have you need 30,000 USD to do it, but you only have 15. Bring your 15. The project, as long as we can see your application is sound, there's 50,000 available for you to spend for that purpose. For the value chain resilience, so that's for our lead firms, 20 to 30 lead firms, 10 business associations. The amount is bigger for obvious reasons. So 40 to 50,000 US dollars are available. But again, as we said, if you're asking for 40,000 US dollars, you have 40,000 US dollars cash as well to put on the table. That's a very important requirement. Then our IT platform. I need everybody to know this because the application process, there is no offline form that anybody is filling anywhere. The submission has to be online. On that platform, we receive your applications, we process your applications, as we're tracking, you want to buy things. That platform is a very, very important platform. So there's transparency, right? Anybody the donor can log in. Our stakeholders in government, people who are tasked to make sure that me and my team are on the straight and narrow. Nobody is in a corner doing personal business with what is supposed to help businesses in Nigeria. That platform is there to ensure that level of transparency. And we tell everybody the place to start is our project website. So every information, all the announcements we are going to make be on that website. We have social media handles, but if we only remember one platform, let's remember bravewomenng.com. Go on there and check. If somebody's mentioning something, saying something, and you cannot find the deal, then you need to call us again to confirm, or at least take what they are saying with a picture or so. So at this point, I've talked plenty talk. It's time to hear from those of you in the room, those of us online, please. As Mr. Michael mentioned already, I think what we'll do is we'll go around, take one round of 5 questions maximum. And then we have to, or comments as well. So if there's any feedback or anything you think we need to know that or consider, please let us know, and then we'll do our best to answer.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Iskine White. I'm from Junior School. But I want to say a very big thank you for this powerful opportunity. I took interest to listen to you, and I also know my little research. I don't know if you have plans for access to markets. For us, I know you are providing technical support and all that. Are you also looking at access to markets?
The quick response is no.
Then I also want to advise. Can I go ahead? I also want to advise. I also listen to you that we're going to be having consultants to provide some technical training and support and all that. I just want to advise. Please, I don't know your terms of reference. I don't know what you have developed on, but my advice would be give us someone from the industry.
Clarify when you say industry. So if I understand, if healthcare, somebody that knows healthcare.
Exactly. We don't just know him. Somebody who is doing the business. We don't want academic presentation. We want somebody who, for example, like what we do, I do technical training and all that. So if you are coming to talk to us, so I'm expecting, I'll make mistakes. Okay, this is the mistake I made. I don't want you to make the same mistakes and that kind of thing. We don't want academic presentation. I know what I'm saying is because I know World Bank, they like CBs. but at the end of the day, you get good CV, but these people are really not on the field. That's one. Then I also look at the, sorry I'm taking your time, I also look at the area of focus. We talk about green business, education. The education is the one I'm interested in. Is TVET, technical and professional training, is it under this level? Are you also looking at that?
Yes, we would. But again, remember, any institution that is considered an educational institution will be licensed. So, not, how do I put this? Not necessarily I'm an expert in something and I provide training. If you are a training center, you would need to provide license.
Okay, for example, the certification that certified in training center, the TVET is NAPTEP.
Okay.
And if you are a NAPTEP certified center,
okay,
are you qualified under this certification?
You have answered the question already.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So again, Mike, do you have a question or something? Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Thomas. I know the president of the National Congress I must say that for this we are very, very grateful to BOI. But still, the area I want to really talk about is the ICT platform. You know, women are not as digital most of the things. So most of the time, when they enter into this platform and you see these long questions to ask, they are discouraged. You know? So I think that there is something that is done about it. You know, let them make it easier for you. You say the program is for women and you want women to register. So please, let's see how to make it so that, because like you said, I'm very, very happy about your capacity building and something because it might help our women. Because most of them said they have actually focused on subject matter. So that's why we have programs in the church that we use to train these women. And maybe if we can get sponsorship, we provide it so that they will be able to do it. Another way we do it in the chamber, maybe women want to register, we will now gather them and get them. So please.
I was also going to react to that suggestion. I think we can work with those on ground. For example, Mike, looking at all the major group and associations on ground, try to validate their center, and then we can then redirect people to go on and complete the application process with the assistance of those who are able to lead. By then, many persons will be able to fit into that platform.
Thank you very much. But more of the same thing.
Yes, no, because if we are looking at it from the angle you have explained so far, you agree with me that the women in the rural society, when you talk about women associations, majority of them should be looking at this initiative to be able to lift them up. One, I can't even remember women in our rural area having access to ICT. Sorry? ICT, yes. So I think, like the PS said, if we really want to help our women in this program, especially looking at the women in our rural areas, then there should be a way out. Maybe to put them just, if not, just to let you know that already.
Thank you very much. Let me get from our response to the last set of
My name is Helen Wagidi, and I'm a president, South for African Women International Program. I'm also the president of the Alliance.
Sorry. My name name is Helen Mwagi. I'm the Vice President South for African Women Entrepreneurship Program. Apart from being the President for Young Women Alliance. There are a lot of questions here, but let me just tie it down to a few because I actually was with him during the initial presentations. Number one, the women, most of them, though educated, I would say educated, in business, they have so much in hand that, like she said, they are not really into IT. So most of the time, when they come to the office and we want to do anything for them, it's a kind of hand-holding. And that hand-holding is not good enough for some of us because at the end of the day, you end up in the house, your own business is suffering. And that has happened to me a number of times. And when you now say, I'm not going to do it again, you become an enemy to so many of them. I've experienced it a number of times. So, like she said, this form should be a little bit, it should come to an end because I was discussing with an international consultant some weeks ago. I have to tell him, I said a number of things come to women, but oftentimes we don't get these things in Nigeria. We see them online. They said Nigerian women are very intelligent. That was the word they used. But they don't know, they are not giving us a very difficult form. I don't think this kind of form was what they gave to them in Yemen. If they had given them this kind of form in Yemen, they wouldn't have been as successful as they are today. So let us turn it down a little bit. That's number one. And then number two, we will need an extension for this application. It's finishing, it's ending on the 17th. And 17th is just by the corner. A number of women are complaining that they have not been able to, they click the link, it keeps bouncing back to them. Some of them are here right now. I haven't even touched it because I know I'm going to apply. Thank you. Then the third one, in education, it wasn't really very explicit. Yes. Explicit. Let me explain. In the course of our moving around, some women are into consultancy. Is this not education?
Sorry, some women are
Into consultancy. And this consultancy tallies on education. Like going the teachers together and educating them on so many things. And they need a number of equipment to get this through. This is why I'm saying it, because we had to discover so many things in education that were not really explained in the program. I'm sure. So let me thank you all for, we won't be able to take any more questions if we're going to be able to get through everything that we need to get through. But let me start by thanking those of us who make questions and comments, and then I'll do my best to answer them as succinctly and quickly as possible. So first of all, on the question around IT, what I would say is your comments are really noted. I mean, we are Nigerians, and we know that even for those of us that think that we are IT savvy and all of that, using ICT is difficult at the best of times. So the decision to use the ICT platform was not done in ignorance of that fact. That said, I'm sure you agree with me that the best possible way of having a transparent process on this project, on any initiative, would be to have an ICT platform. for us at BOI, for us on the BRIC project, as we said, and I'm sure Michael has said it a lot for us here in Edo State, we are not expecting living individuals to simply just, do it on your own. If you need to come into the BOI state office to get support to do it, we are available to provide you support through the process. And this goes not just with the actual filling in of the forms online. It's even things like you are not clear on eligibility criteria. BOI, and I'm not saying this just because I work with BOI, but the staff at BOI are some of the most approachable people you meet. You call anybody and you tell them, in fact, you know all this better than me, so I don't need to be on the point. We are there to provide that support with people who need to fill in the forms online. So we are not, leaving individuals or businesses or associations on their own. But you mentioned the point about, the associations usually have their own, focal persons who help their members do this. Again, those were part of the things we had in mind. The reason why that was selected was because, as far as we knew, there's that kind of support available already. So I know, I hear you when you say, it gets tiring. But again, part of the reason for the intervention, part of the things we hope business associations will ask for is maybe you need a dedicated person who will be able to provide that kind of support on a longer term basis for your members. You're already doing those kind of things. The intervention here, the grants are here to help make it easier to provide that kind of support. Then I'll speak on education. Education is tricky. The experts will tell you there's education, then there's training. The issue with the consultants, and Michael and I, we got questions, and we, as a team, we discussed this a lot. The issue with education is that for formal learning, formal education, there's a clear definition. There are licenses that are required for anybody or any individual to say that they are, a licensed educator. If somebody is a trainer, again, there needs to be, licenses, that show that you are qualified. When Michael asked, when we discussed, this was the response. As long as individuals can provide us with evidence of these licenses that validates that they are qualified to, train teachers, as you said. It's interesting what I'm saying is the Council for Teachers in Nigeria is an association of teachers. They are eligible to apply, and the sort of things you mentioned are the sort of things they do. So I like the fact that we are here and we're asking all these questions. Certainly it means that for us on the project, maybe we need to clarify our messaging on some things better. And I thank you again because the comments, the questions are helping us sharpen and improve how we do what we do. So that would be my response on that. Is there any question or comment I haven't attended to yet? She asked for the extension. We will consider it certainly. And I say that because how do I put this? We gave a 1-month period for applications because we expected a certain number of applications in that period. If the applications are supposed to end next Saturday, it's supposed to close. If by this time next week we see that we are nowhere near the numbers, then of course, as a project, our aim here is not to be rigid. We want the applications, and if we need to extend to allow individuals, to allow businesses the opportunity to, take advantage of this window, because we won't have another window again in this space. That's certainly something we are more than happy to do. We gain nothing if the project fails, if you don't get enough quality applications from. So we'll watch the numbers and we'll see. And if we've not gotten the kind of number of applications we are expecting, we may have to close. Because again, remember we're a project, and we have up to 2023. So every week, every day, every week counts. So that would be my response to that now. At this point, I hand over to Michael. Do we have time for one more? Okay. Good afternoon.
I'm Rona Peters, the coordinator at the State Exporters Cluster, and I equally double as the national PRO for women in New Nigeria and New Nigeria Youth Empowerment Initiative. My interest is in agribusiness. I want that properly defined because agribusiness, you just put agribusiness is wholesome like that. You have farmers, you have processors, you have marketers, logistics, you have different people in agribusiness. And if I settle down to look at some of the farmers, I have sat down to wonder how many farmers will be registered with CAC. We are looking at it and all that, except certain categories of farmers. So, but you have to define what category of agribusiness, so we know the caliber of women to apply under that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mama. Thank you. That question is similar to the one we got on education. So for me, what I will tell everybody responding is that please remember the name of the project. Value adding. Therein lies the key. So that means, farmers, for instance, are excluded because they are not value adding. They are producers. They are producers of raw materials. For us, as far as we understand it, as far as we define it on this project, those who buy from them and store, those who provide maybe the equipment that they use, those who certainly process the produce that they've done, we consider as value addition on this project. I know, we may not agree, we may disagree, but for us, the project, that's how it's been defined, that's how it's understood. So the project is not going to, farmers are not eligible, but those who process, food produce, food items, agro dealers, for instance, those would be eligible. And then you mentioned logistics, those who do storage, those who do transport, and those who certainly, when we say add value, they take potatoes and they make potato chips. Or you buy flour and you process it into flour that's sold in the market. Or you are a baker. Certainly, those are SMEs that will be eligible under the project. Michael has his own presentation to give, and please hold on to your question till then. We'll prioritize you and make sure that we are one of the first to respond.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, the next round of presentation, we'll be going through quickly the selection criteria for the Brave Women program generally. We'll be looking at those three major sectors, or rather three major sets of beneficiaries, which the project manager just talked about and answered some questions. So basically, also just as a recap, for us to know, we are focusing on three major sets of beneficiaries in this intervention. The main beneficiaries, which are classified as the women-owned or led enterprises. Basically, these are some of the features we're looking at. We're looking at businesses that have existed for at least 1 year. So SMEs that have been operating for at least 1 year. Also, we're looking at the geographical spread of Edo, Kano, and Gombe. So in this case, we'll be looking at Edo State as our focal state of intervention. Also, Also, we'll be looking at a matching contribution basically, because one of the major areas we're looking at is risk sharing to ensure that SMEs have, first of all, the capacity and are willing to take part in the intervention. Because when we make that 50% equity contribution, we expect that SMEs will take the businesses seriously, because this is an investment in their own personal businesses and their own personal growth. So there's a requirement of a 50% equity of between $5,000 to $15,000. That is, if an enterprise, let's say, does a kind of feasibility study and analysis and says, okay, what we need and the support we need is going to be summed up to, let's say, $20,000 in Naira equivalent. What the program can do for you is, or can do for the SME is, contribute $10,000, and the SME is supposed to contribute that other half of the $10,000. That's why for those of us that have done registration, if you notice, that's one of the core questions we ask. Do you have the willingness and capacity to contribute the matching grant of the 50%? So the minimum a project can apply or can get, an enterprise can get from this project under the women-owned or led enterprises is $5,000. That's the minimum. And the maximum they can access is $15,000. But there's no limit to the contribution in which the SME can contribute to the intervention. So for example, let's say an SME says, I require support worth $50,000. At the end of the day, the program can only give $15,000. So that SME is supposed to provide the remaining $35,000. So just so we are clear. Also, it's looking at businesses in the 5 sectors of education, including textile, energy, agribusiness, healthcare. So it's looking at providing support with capital assets or services. So capital assets or services, looking at things like purchase of equipment, looking at things like purchase of machinery, it could be processors. We could also look at things like NAFTA registration, other forms of registration like FIRS. It all depends on what kind of support. So the grant generally does not support anything that has to do with operational costs. So we're looking at wages or staff salaries are not supported. Also, utility bills like electricity will not be supported by the grant and so on. Also, just also to be clear, the grant will not be provided, you cannot support any kind of inputs that are consumed during production. So when we say inputs consumed during production, an example could be the feed provided during poultry. Also, for a poultry intervention, the chickens or the poultry beds will not be supported. But basically, the building of the poultry house can be supported. Purchase of other equipment like the cages can be supported. Let's say there's a need for a water source like a bowl that can be constructed, and if there's a particular kind of licensing, let's say required by NAFTA, maybe let's say good hygiene practice licensing that is required by NAFTA, that can be supported. So these are some of the things we'll also be looking at to see, because even in the forms, some of the things we ask is to see also your bank statements. This tries to show us also how operational your business has been, what your business has been doing over the year, at least to show us some form of a level of existence that the business has been operational. And as mentioned earlier, the project is also here to formalize the informal sector. So we're not particularly stressing ourselves with legal registrations at this particular point. However, at the point of grant administration, that is a core requirement. So, at least with 1% ownership by women. So, if you have a CAC document, let's say for a limited liability company, which shows that particular part of the share allocations, and if a woman or a combination of shares from women sums at least 51%, then we do not need to look at that second criteria that says
greater than 20% owned by women, has one woman as CEO. No, we won't look at that because we know the woman has control over that enterprise generally. But in a situation in which I've seen many cases whereby women own, let's say, about 20-21% of the business, what we want to see is to see at least one woman as the chief executive officer or chief operating officer, president or vice president registered within that company. And we would like to also see that at least 30% of the board of directors are also female. So it's really a bit of calculation, but what we usually do is just look at the total number of directors registered in the company, how many are male, how many are female, then we get our own percentage. But as long as the company has 51% ownership, then we just wait that and move to the next criteria. Okay, we talked about that operational for 1 year, also should be halal based. So this grant is actually from our implementing partners, which is the Islamic Development Bank. So the grant is purely Sharia compliant, looking at any kinds of goods or services that would be procured to be, we call it haram in Islam. Any kind of activity that is considered haram or prohibited by the Islamic law is not allowed. So anything that has to do with alcohol business, anything that has to do with tobacco, we're also talking of exploitative activities like child labor, women exploitative activities, and also other activities that are prohibited by the federal government of Nigeria. Those are some of the criteria. And one other key point to note also is the grant does not support any form of procurement of goods or services from Israel. So basically, one of our jobs would be also to support you in identifying vendors or products that are made from any part of the world apart from Israel, for example. So because those particular acts, each state needs to all be verified to ensure that we are compliant with what the government requests. Also, PV is one activity that is haram also in Islam, so it's not under the agribusiness going to be approved. Talking of license, we're just talking of businesses that require special licensing. So because I've had questions from people that they call me, maybe I'm in the fashion industry, what license do I upload and all that. But basically, we usually look at businesses that are that require maybe licensing from the healthcare, Ministry of Health, Education, and a host of other energy and the rest. So basically, that's what we're looking at. We've talked about this. We've talked about the sectors. One of the major criteria, of course, is completing the registration forms. So the forms are online purely, and we'll be sharing these links, and we'll still share the links today for us to be able to cascade. So on the platform, when my colleague will talk about it later, but basically we'll be required to upload those documents, the particular documents we are looking at. And at the bottom also, you also see the major criteria that the project is also looking at. It's all stated here and also all the documents. That's why a lot of firms have said, okay, we're using the next 1-2 weeks to gather all these documents, then upload them. Okay, so then there's also going to be a business continuity plan. So this one is particularly for those that meet the criteria for the first level. So there's going to be a CV through those specific criteria we talked about. So there's going to be a business continuity plan, in which I remember that someone made a recommendation that some of the BDSs have experience in business and all that. So these are some of the things we're actually working on to finalize at the moment to ensure that we identify the necessity of people to provide us business continuity plan and also business development support. Signing of agreement letter is also going to come after business continuity planning, which it looks at, okay, all the funds that will be contributed by both parties, the Brave project and also the entrepreneur, is going 100% solely for that business. So there's no particular point that the Brave project would say
we're sending cash directly to your account. Yes, we are sending it to the account you open in one of the partner banks, Wema, Access, Jais, or SunTrust. However, there's going to be an agreement that all these funds will be forwarded or channeled directly to the vendor that is identified to procure that particular goods or service.
I'd like you to define the relationship between your matching grant and the part contributed by the business, especially your clearly stated that the grant will not support operational costs. Now, what is the mode of operation? Is that going to be a dedicated account to which the participating SME will lodge their form, for which your fund will go in? At what point will you separate between, for example, a poultry farmer or somebody to invest in the textile business? You have assisted to buy machinery, you have assisted to buy, for example, a generator. At what point will you now tell the person, now spend part of this money to buy some textile material for which will be in actual production to be able to recoup your investment or expand investment? You need to clarify such a relationship.
Thank you, sir. So just to mention, basically, with the 4 partner banks, Access Bank, Jais, SunTrust, and Wema banks, all beneficiaries will be required to have an account with them. So at this point, we are not requesting to have an account and all that because this is just the initial phase. So once a business scales through this phase and develop a continuity plan in support of with support from the BDSP, those continuity plans will contain whatever they want to bring their business. It's basically a business plan, but since we're targeting businesses that have been existing for at least 1 year, then it's a continuity plan to see how in the next few years what your long-term and short-term plans are. So within those plans, you're going to identify these are the things I need. For example, if I own a bakery, I can say, okay, what do I need? At the moment, I have a 1-deck oven. I have a small mixer that is maybe 5 horsepower, and other things. So in advancing now, because I want to scale up my business, I might say, okay, I want 4 mixers. I want to identify a new location for my business or open another branch. I want to buy 4 decker ovens. Well, I know the amount I don't know, but just as an example. So I want to do all these activities. So what happens next? I build those into my business continuity plan. And one of the, I would say, flexibilities on the long term is the project provides this. There is no particular clause that says, okay, POI wants to provide those vendors to procure those particular goods or services. So it's actually a two-way thing. For due diligence, POI ensure that, okay, all these items you're submitting with the budget and other things are actually the market price, for example. And those qualities are actually the best. So on the businesses part also, we would also request that, okay, do you have a particular vendor that supplies these goods or services to you? If you say yes, it's okay. What we can go ahead to do is use those same specifications, try and get like a kind of pro forma invoice. Let's see those documents. That's one of my jobs also to support the monitoring, to also check that everything is in compliance. And then for the funds, once that account is open in the bank, all beneficiaries that will be receiving the grant will be required to sign that particular partnership agreement with the Bank of Industry. That any funds that is lodged into this account will be transferred to the vendor. So the banks will support in the process of all the KYC, know your customer documentation. They will receive biometrics and other documentation just as a normal bank does. However, that agreement will come also from the part of the project, between the project also and that beneficiary to say, okay, this is going there. The banks are already our partners, and so they will also be part of the process to ensure that those funds are securely transferred to the vendors identified if all the due diligence is done. So basically, that's why we said, okay, to minimize the risk, it's better to transfer the fund directly to the vendor. to ensure that we don't give the beneficiaries money and hand. Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So let me just take you around a farm, a poultry farm. So for a poultry farm, we expect to see on your business continuity plans. Yes, everything should be involved. I need feed. Feed will be part of it and other things, but those are not costs that can be charged to the project because they are basically operational items or commodities. But what we intend to see and what the project can support are things like, okay, I want to get a new rented place. It can support in financing the rent of the space. It can support in financing the mobilization of materials required to construct that place. So it's going to finance the purchase of blocks, the purchase of wood, nets, and other things, and also the labor that will be required to build that poultry house. Well, the downside I would say is that it cannot support the purchase of poultry beds and feeds. However, also if there are other requirements you need, because maybe if you're into processing again, let's say you're into processing, you process poultry products into, so what it can support also is equipment like feathering machines, cutting machines, yes, vehicle for supply, you can fund vehicles for supply of logistics to other places. Basically, that's what it does, yes, in the poultry settings.
Thank you. When our process is just trying to clarify what you do agribusiness. You mentioned that it's basically processors, individuals, those stuff. Now you are making an example of poultry now. There's a level of not necessarily anymore. Because I can hear you talk about production construction. So how does it relate to process of this thing? Because if you are going to provide production construction for a poultry farmer, then you are supporting production. And so I agree. Also, you need to educate us properly. Maybe for the area of business, you need to bring them out, bring this in. But the documents that we share with prospective beneficiaries is important. So that they know exactly what areas you are supporting. The area of business, that's not confusing. You are supporting infrastructure, that's fine. It's a way of supporting production. Our gas station now, yes, poultry 50% of production. You know, so you expect that that's an input. You know, so in that case, the people part of what you support, it means that there's an vendor supplying fees. So that falls into your level of supporting. So let's clear this. But the government is not
Okay, thank you, sir. So just to clarify, so generally inputs are not supported. So any inputs, anything that is consumed during production is not really supported in the project. So talking of the agri part of it, talking of the feeds, for example, these are things the project cannot really fund. So it's actually focused on only capital equipment, capital assets, goods also and services. So even looking at the poultry beds, it's actually not supported. So it only focuses on those major hardware components, those assets that in one way or the other support the intervention. So I don't know if I've answered the question for yet, but basically it does not support the use. So anything fit for across board does not support. Anything that involves procuring the livestock, it does not support that. But it also supports other processing activities along the value chain. anything that, let's say, for cassava processing, you cannot support the purchase of cassava, that's the raw material, but you can purchase the equipment, yes. Okay, so we talked about the contribution, which the minimum is $5,000 and the maximum is $15,000. Okay, so these are also just write-ups on some of the kinds of services you can also provide support or procure. So that's all for the business, the SMEs, the women-owned SMEs or led SMEs. So just a point of note also, led SMEs could be, women-owned SMEs could be businesses owned by men. Please, so we should also take note of that. So it's a possibility. Businesses owned by men, but have women that have shares or that are in management positions. If it's not up to 51, then you should have at least 20%. And also at least one woman that is either a president, vice president, or CEO of the company. Yes. Not 50%, but as a position, not based on shares. Yes. Okay, so we'll also be taking a presentation of 8 steps. Even though I know these steps have also been discussed, but just to also do a form of recap on these firms. These firms are basically companies that are for profit. So it could be large companies, it could be medium companies, it could be small companies that are for profit. It could be as companies as big as Dangote. A lot of companies, we can talk of indigenous companies also. It could be companies like, let's say, Farmfort. It could be like Okomo, Crespo. Those are all lead firms. It could also be smaller than these firms, but we expect those lead firms to have at least linkages with 20 SMEs, the minimum. So when we say linkages with 20 SMEs, we are looking at companies that either buy from or give their products maybe on credit to 20 SMEs at least. So let's say we have a farm that is focused also on poultry production. So in a big farm that focuses on poultry production, we have a lot of those companies that give this egg on credit. So once these SMEs or MSMEs sell off those eggs, they come and pay them back. We consider that as a lead firm, as far as it has 20 SMEs at least linked to it. So it either buys from them or gives its product to those SMEs. The geographical scope is national, so a lead firm can be anywhere within Nigeria. It doesn't matter. However, it should have linkages with some business, some SMEs in at least one of the states. So you could have your company based somewhere in Ogun State. However, it should have SME that at least it buys products from in Edo State, Gombe or Kano, or supplies them with goods or services. Also, we are looking at businesses that have the financial capacity to match that, to contribute to the matching fund. So we are looking at SMEs that can contribute at least 50%, large firms that can contribute, or small firms that can contribute to at least $40,000, 50% equity to $50,000, which means the project can provide those support as the minimum and the maximum. And basically, it should play a leadership role. That lead firm or the company should play a leadership role in at least one business association, let's say like the CIMA, or other associations that are well known. It should also have commercial linkages with at least 2 other firms, other lead firms per se. So let's say for example, a company like let's say Nestle having a relationship other companies that supply to them. The company can be Cadbury, or it can be, let's say, Dangote company. But having that kind of formal relationship within them, because we consider influencers as major value chain influencers. So they are considered as people or institutions that actually play a lot of role in the businesses of MSMEs generally. I think basically that is all about this. So even as part of some of the requirements, a lead firm can belong to a man, it can belong to a woman, or a group of men or women, or mixed. So there's no particular distinction that says a lead firm must be particularly a woman-owned or led lead firm. So basically that's how we classify lead firms. And some of the businesses in the SME sectors are also classified as lead firms based on this criteria. So we should also have the idea that we're not looking at exclusive very big companies in this particular situation. Those sets of criteria don't put them apart and makes them eligible for the funding. And also, a lead firm is supposed to have, in the last 3 years, at least one capital investment it has done. Because we're looking at profit, we're looking at impact on MSMEs. What have we done for the MSMEs? We're not saying you should just go and be buying products for them, buy equipment for them. But in one way or the other, even if you're looking for your own profit as a lead firm, if you buy a transportation vehicle that does logistics and send vehicles to all the neighboring local governments to supply eggs to them or to supply cassava to them, that means it makes the cut. Because they're just looking at that multiplier effect, how the input effect can move from top to bottom to bottom to very, very micro businesses. So please let's have also that picture that those are some of the things that we can on this things. Then let me jump also into this before we take questions. Business associations. Also, business associations, this one can be cooperatives. So business association is just another alternative name. It could be cooperative that we know. It could be male-owned, female-owned. It doesn't have any particular gender differentiation. It has a national scope also, just like the difference. It could be anywhere within Nigeria. However, it should have linkages with some of its members or some MSMEs within at least a local or so let's say we have a little also that is in just Delta State or a little that is in Ondo State. One of the major things we'll be looking at before we even talk about other things, what linkage does it have with at least one of the states, and will also require some evidence like list of those kind of businesses that or MSMEs that are linked to it. These are some of the things we also expect to see. Business associations that in one way or the other support their members to, let's say for example, have access to low interest loans. So let's say for example, business associations that can take the weight of the association, approach maybe a commercial bank or approach a bank like the Bank of Agriculture or Bank of Industry or any kind of microfinance bank and say, okay, please, this is what we need. We have all the requirements to access loans. So we are looking at associations that have been doing that before, that have been supporting their members in one way or the other to access those kind of low interest loans. We're also looking at associations that have in one way or the other been marketing the products of their members. So we're looking at market access, opening opening the markets of their members to new markets generally. And we're also looking at business associations that have conducted also one form of support or capital project for their associations. So this kind of support would be things like technical trainings. Let's say I'm also using the example of poultry. Maybe there's a smart agricultural practice that has to do with poultry, maybe feed production. So we're looking at associations that have in one way or the other like facilitated identifying consultancy firms that will come and the members can pay at maybe reduced rates and access those kind of trainings. So basically we're just looking at associations that have in one way or the other been pushing their members through marketing, through promotion, through advertisement, and also in a situation where it's possible, those that have been able to also really buy from those. So we've talked about this financial $40,000 to $50,000. So for instance, basically, that is odd. So it just has a very short criteria, just like the leaflet. However, there are some kinds of evidences or documentation that are required. That's why if you want to put in the registration forms, for leaflet, you have basically like 5 lines of or 4 lines of document and other requirements that we need. So I will be stopping here for now. Then I will be taking a few questions before we proceed to the next presentation. Please, can I have the other microphone?
I think what we can do for those of us in the state is to see as much as possible how we can organize everything. A lot of these forms, we print it out, the basic information that are required from them, the clusters we get to do. Because if we keep saying that they are not computer literate, they can't come online, etc., etc., this form that we need is quota-based. It means that if Edo State doesn't finish their own, they will take what is due to us. So if you have clusters, right, just like you have for one women, we could call these women together, they put our laptops, tell them what to require from them, and get as many of these women as possible. But a lot of them may not know what to do. But if they are guided and handled, the world will be done. I think that's the way.
Right, thank you. Also, just to comment on that, thank you for your recommendation. That's part of what also we've been doing. And most of us also can really witness that. That's one of the things we've been pushing through phone calls, through social media, through WhatsApp messages to say, okay, if you have an event, you can invite us to come and talk about it. It's not a problem. Even if it's a one-on-one meeting, at your location, at our location. So most times we prefer going to your location, especially if your numbers are more, because our office can only accommodate. So that's why, so we are available. After this meeting, if you have a particular request, or because basically these meetings happen within the meeting, so I believe within the meeting there's nowhere we can go to. So please, if you have those kind of events or you have special meetings you want to arrange for these kinds of as a platform to share information about this, please, that's why I'm also here in the state. So as much as possible, what we'll do again is I will still share my contacts and other important contacts after the meeting. I have a question here. So it's just to ask what of women in rural, women that belong to cooperatives in the rural communities. And before I move to the next one, I'll just say it's simple. They are eligible to apply. And can women, so can they be able to come together to provide that matching fund? So basically, there's one thing I've always said about individual contribution, because there's a particular dynamic that is applied to that. You go to an association, you see that we have rice farmers within the association, you have cassava farmers, you have poultry farmers. So for us, we cannot really say we will come in to do your own, or give you a model of how to go about it and say these are the ones that can apply only and all that. But what we can always advise you is, since you have different groups within, first of all, look at the interest. Because I have associations that we've done meetings with, you see only a few of some of the other components do not really have interest in it, maybe because of the contribution or because of one reason or the other. But those ones that have interest in it, the organization can as well apply with those people that are willing. However, also there's also a risk in that because the fund also comes into the account of maybe the national office or so. Those are some of the dynamics we should also look at our own level there. Because for us, we don't want a situation whereby if we approve this, then at the end of the day, an issue will come up. Then some of the members in poultry production will say, this is what we do. Cassava will say, well, the ones getting it and all that. And we want the fund to have, we want to just maximize the impact of that fund. So basically, if you start distributing chunks, so again, it's defeated at the end of the day. So we expect to see services that support, let's say, functional upgrading, product upgrading, like things that have to do with, okay, in an association or in a firm, what do we want to do for our members? What kind of, let's say if we focus on just the cassava production now, what are some, because I spoke with a lot of businesses also and associations. There was one that told me that one of their major challenges was to have cassava processors because they've been having issues that once they aggregate, they have to take it maybe to be processing. So you can have those machines in clusters for the members. We are not saying particularly these members utilize them for free. No, it will be sustainable. But we expect that at least, since you're able to obtain it, at least the prices will be not subsidized, but something that is okay to ensure that there's particular running costs for that particular machinery or equipment, or even the service of the job. Yes. So, and then, okay, I think this one maybe I will give it to. So they said, what role can BOI play in the counterpart funding or the matching grant? So can BOI play kind of arrangements to see that that 50% is provided if maybe cooperatives or individuals apply? Well, I think I'll give that to Mr. Parkins or Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris.
I think in the area of the matching grant, it's called, it's everything supposed to be equity contribution. So we expect you to be able to generate that from the business or look for any way you can get it. For whichever way, if it is something we can process, we can still submit a proposal and see how we can process it. Thank you.
So I think this is great, it's quite straightforward. So and this generally a boost to us, especially in situations where we say now there's no fund for that. Because as far as, let me say, maybe if BOI says that yes, you pass all those criteria and you're getting the grant, then why not as far as you have their BOI requirements? Because it's important to note that there's going to be an interest rate on the part of BOI. So it's not particularly free. Thank you. Then I have one last question.
Definitely. I'm the Deputy National Coordinator for the Nigerian Youth Initiative and also the founder of Kenyan Jam. From the suggestion made by Auntie here, I wanted to clarification that we as an organization, we have a cause. We have our members that are living in Nigeria and in Nigeria. We have our members across the state. So I'm asking, can we fix the date where we can gather all our members at a particular hall and have families of the staff come to do the registration for them at a particular day?
Okay, thank you. So for registration, what we can generally do is to support, just to facilitate the process. What we can do is maybe we can use one as a case study. So once we just get there, we just say it's displayed somewhere on the screen so that everyone can see it. These are the documents. These are the ways we need to upload them. And there's also one complaint I've been having that some documents are heavy. So I think I've sent to like 5 or 6 people one application that recites PDF documents. Yes. So please, as much as possible, we have specific, the IT person will talk about it now. We have specific formats of folders of documents which can be uploaded. So we'll talk about it in this presentation. So I think that's the end of it. my own presentation. Thank you very much. So I'll be introducing also the M&E officer, but at this point we just want to administer also those post-evaluation questionnaires to just see generally how our knowledge has been in the program, because we're actually trying to wind down now with a few other short presentations that will be happening. The presentation of the CRM, that's where you do your registration, then we don't want to be very quick. But like I also said also, please just send a message or just contact us, you can come to our office. If you have any kind of event, we can always just speak about it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. The next session is the post-test and the evaluation. Our authors are going around. They will be giving you 2 forms. One of the forms is the post-test. The other is the evaluation. For the post-test, you just have 10 questions. They are the same questions that you answered in the pre-test. This time around, we want to see your level of knowledge about the project. Okay, so kindly answer the post-test questions. Then for the evaluation, it is composed of 30 questions. And these are straightforward questions. We are going to use it to measure your satisfaction with the workshop. So kindly use the available time to complete the questions. Thank you.
I don't think we need that.
A lot has been said about the categories of beneficiaries. And as we've been at the other 2 states, one thing that has come out repeatedly is that when we talk about business associations, a lot of us think a lot about the cooperatives, but we don't think about bodies like Benzema, MAN, and so on. These are eligible business associations. The project is called Brave Women Nigeria, but as I mentioned earlier, and I'm sure you see in a lot of our material, and as I've said, it's the firms and it's the associations that are the beneficiaries. MAN has female members, it has female chief officers. Benzema has female members, probably even has a women wing, right? MAN has female members. NASIMA at national level has female members. I say this because I personally will be very, very pained if we don't get applications from bodies like this. Even our medical association our our associations for pharmacists, for nurses, lab technicians. These are all business owners in the health sector. It would be painful if we do not receive applications from bodies like this. Bakers Association, the list goes on and on and on. I know the name of the project is Brave Women Nigeria, but for our business associations and our lead firms, there isn't a strict gender requirement. Simply because we know that at the level of these associations, lead firms, remember the grant component, value chain resilience. So we're looking at your entire sector. So applications from any associations, any major players that fit the profiles that we provided are welcome. Of course, if you have women, bodies that are specifically, associations that are specifically women-owned or led, we'll get excited when we see them. But please, don't discount yourself as a lead firm or a business association on the basis that your name isn't, you are not purely a women business group, or that you're interested in purely for women members. And again, I'll say for the SMEs, there's women-owned, but there's women-led. So if you are a business in any of those priority sectors, a man or men may be the ones who have majority shares, but your leadership, those who do the management of your business are women. Please apply, especially if you meet the requirements. Because at the end of it, there are two sides to this thing. Yes, we're encouraging and we're providing support to women, because women do not get enough support. They need special support. But at the same time, if by helping our businesses, our sectors as a whole, and our men benefit, and our women benefit, we all benefit. So please, business associations, lead firms, don't say, oh, the name of the project is Brave Women. It's only women they are looking for. Even our SMEs that are owned by women, it may be a male member of staff that is able to sit down and fill in the form, upload the documents for you. We're not, if you look at the form, we're not asking the person that filled in the form, are you a man or a woman? We don't care. Because the criteria is around leadership, ownership in that instance. And we'll be looking at the documents, we'll be looking at the evidence. So I really wanted to make that pitch, because as I said, we believe there's a lot of opportunity across our states for us as a country, because again the associations and lead firms are not restricted in terms of geography. It could be the national body, it could be the state body or the state chapter. So please, I don't want people who should have submitted applications since we opened it, at this point still thinking that they are not eligible, when in fact they are. So please, Edo States and everybody online that's paying attention, if you are eligible, and I always say this again, if you are in doubt, reach out to us. The state office is there. Myself, my team, are reachable. Our details are there. We are paying close attention to our social media platforms, our phone numbers, our emails. Reach out to us. If you are in doubt for any reason, it's better you ask us and we tell you, oh, no, you are not eligible, than that you are actually eligible and you do not apply. So I wanted to just, make that additional plea as we fill in the process and the evaluation form. Thank you.
I want to ask a question so that you have the opportunity to explain to our audience. I don't have all the necessary documents and I'm filling the form. Can I go ahead to submit? Or will the online platform restrict me? So I have not registered my business, I don't have SMIDA certificate. Can I still complete the form? You mentioned something about the lead firm and association. If they are going to apply, what is the project you would be willing to support? Because they can tell you that they want to build another auditorium, or they want to do something for their members. What project can Nasima bring to you that Benzema can bring to you that it's okay, qualifies to be funded? So answer this.
Thank you very much for that, Irako. So the first question you asked about the filling in the form online. So as we said here, at this stage, CAC, SMIDAN, all those things are not requirements at this stage. But of course, if you have them, you make life easier for yourself because you are ready to go, straight through at the grant matching stage. You don't have that extra work to do. But the form online says attach proofs of certain things. What I will encourage everybody to do, prepare, they call them letter of explanation or letter of application, where you introduce your business, almost like a cover letter. My business has been operating since so time. We have not yet registered with CAC, we've not registered with this thing, but the process is going on, all of that. Attach that in instances where you do not have, you don't have your SMIDAN certificate, you don't have your CAC certificate. In instances where there is nothing to attach, you attach that, and that will be fine. But as you said, very important and non-negotiable, proof that you've been existing for 12 months. So your bank statements, if your records, no matter how basic they are, of your sales and all of that for the last 12 months, if you have that, then proof of your physical, residence. Even if it's your house or somebody's house, there's a place that your business operates from. We need evidence of, whether it's rent payment or NEPA bill or something similar to what we supply to the banks when we're opening our accounts. We need to see, that sort of evidence. So that's the question on on filling in the form online. So that's number one. Then you ask for the associations and what kind of projects. So the idea is that whatever you're applying for is supposed to benefit your members. So perhaps and then things like product upgrading. So if there's equipment that your members require, if there's training that your members will require, that will help them with their businesses. For instance, we keep talking about this thing of record keeping. You want to organize, a training specifically for your members that will show them how to keep proper records for their business. And that's the sort of thing that you apply, you tell us you are going to do. It's something you would consider. Your members may want to access certain software that will help their businesses operate better. It's expensive if one person is buying it. But if 200 people go and meet Microsoft or whichever firm, or you even find we have IT firms that can develop these things for you, it is cheaper with 200 people, an association asking for that. We can support those sort of things. Or it may even be access to portals where there's information that is relevant to the business. Think of the sort of services that you regularly provide, the kind of products, the things you normally, you are not doing anything brand new, but you are introducing, improving how your members operate, helping them innovate in their businesses. Again, I'll use the example of, we mentioned cassava, the cassava group that Michael mentioned. You have members who need access to rice processing equipment or storage facilities. As a lead firm or as an association, you might decide that, this is an investment you are going to make, maybe across all 3 states or at least 1 state. Those are the kind of, and you have the money ready to invest in the project as well. These are the kind of ideas, and I'm sure we can see why. An SME may not be able to take on such a project alone, but associations, big firms are bigger players. They may be able to take on those kind of projects. So maybe just things to think about. Some of our associations or big firms may have had some of these things they wanted to do, but maybe the funds were not available, the time was never quite right. Consider all these things, and I would hope that if you are eligible, you fit the profile, you submit an application.
The last question will be, you mentioned fashion. Fashion is very broad. Goes into makeup and do they qualify?
Just this morning, we heard that the Vice President was even talking about leather and how leather, can contribute significantly to our economy. So fashion is broad. Those who take Ankara and make handbags, they are adding value. Fashion houses that hire 20 tailors. You go to some fashion houses, somebody has organized X number of tailors, you are bringing your material, or she's even bringing material for you, they are sewing. That's fashion and textile. Those who are into shoes. So it's very, very broad. Those who, and now this is a link between education and fashion and textile. Those who do school uniforms. There are factories that, do school uniforms. They are interesting, but they will be fitting really nicely with fashion and textile.
One major thing about women businesses is this. Many of them are into buying and selling. And oftentimes they buy textiles for sale. And many of them, when they saw fashion and textile, they started asking this and that. Well, what I normally do, by the time they ask questions like this, I start encouraging, because I know very well that things like this, DOI for instance, will definitely tell you, these are my conditions. And you have to be producing something so that they can provide. And since this is also going to provide something like capital, I start encouraging them, why don't you turn this textile, this money you are using for this, why don't you turn it into production? We start bringing ideas of what you can produce with what you have. Now, this is a very basic question. I have this question to ask, because some of them we are now trying to take them away from buying and selling to producing. Yes, added value. And we will ask at 6 months' time, when things like this thing will now be coming out, their businesses will not be up to one. How do we qualify?
So, I'm happy to hear that, there's that evolution going on. But for the purposes of our project, if you are making any changes to your business, and as of now that we're submitting applications, you cannot show us that that's been your line of business for at least 12 months. Unfortunately, you are not eligible. But again, as you were talking, you actually said something that's stirred me up. Another example I wanted to give. So, a firm that buys and sells may not necessarily be considered as a lead firm. Let me give an example. There are people who produce adherent, and as a business, to make your own products, you purchase from. You have a potential, you could potentially be a lead firm. As long as you are adding value and as long as you have those commercial needs. Exactly. So, just something to think about. So those of us that are making handbags, beads, those of us that make beads. You talked about fashion, makeup. Think about House of Tara. House of Tara is a makeup outfit, at the heart of it. But I mean, it's certainly not one that we would sniff at and say, oh, it's only makeup they are doing. It's only makeup they are doing, but the owner has gone to the World Economic Forum. So, no, I'm just citing an example, sir. In Nigeria, do we have many businesses here that actually make makeup?
Yes, we do in our center. If our center is even known for fashion, so we must produce.
Then please encourage those of our sisters because they are adding value.
Serious value, and we pay our tax.
These are the kind of stories we want to hear. These are the kind of firms we would love to apply.
Most of them are return migrants.
No, let's understand.
No, the point, Oga Irapa, I get your point. So you are not just selling anything, you are not buying from MAC, you are not buying A1 and selling on to other businesses. Remember the value addition component. But ladies, like you mentioned, they are creating the makeup.
Yes.
Please, let them look seriously. If they are eligible, they can meet the requirements, there's evidence of that 12 months, please ask them to apply. I'm excited already because these are the kind of success stories that we would love to be able to tell in this project.
They are already producing their own cosmetics.
Beautiful. That's true. People, body butters, your baby, yes. Yes. So again, I'm happy we're having these conversations. I hope if we didn't do a good enough job before, I hope we have a clearer picture of the kind of businesses that are more than eligible to apply.
I'll hand it back to the facilitator. The question is going to benefit everybody. Okay. You are called to airports in Edo with the matching funds. I'm only thinking ahead. Please think ahead. I'm looking at the sustainability of this project, number one. Can your project also take into consideration how they can provide publicity for the work we do? Again, you want to help us. We also do not want that money to just come and just die. When you are providing technical support and all that. But it will also be good, just the way you have very beautiful website, very mobile friendly and all that. I'm just thinking, maybe we're not thinking of this. What kind of publicity can you provide for us? Since you cannot provide access to markets, as in.
What I will tell you is, I love the suggestion. I think it's a valid one. It's certainly something as a project we'll go and sit down and we'll think about. If there are platforms, if there's any way, I mean, we have the business-to-business events that we're already doing, but beyond that, if there's something that the project can provide that helps to showcase, the product, or even if a great project can't do it, I know that there are initiatives that, are already working in this area. So if we can identify them and link them up with you, so that what we do plus what they do helps your business.
Yes, I think one way you can do this, I know every time we see a success story or BOI being shown, I think you can pick this project and fill those states as a focus point, share about the success that was made in them, and you begin to showcase
Exactly.
Yes.
That one is giving now.
Yes,
See,
I think it will be
that one is giving.
yes. So puts us.
So let me respond quickly, man, and then I'll hand back to Michael. I'll hand back to Michael and then allow him to decide. Success stories are a part of our activities as a project. So when you mentioned that, I was even thinking of something beyond that. But definitely, think about it. It's good for me and my team if we can grab and showcase how all this work we're doing is bringing about results. So already there are provisions, that's something we'll be doing, and let me start saying it now, we'll be coming and visiting quite frequently. So when we come and start disturbing and asking questions, everybody will know that
Before and after. Before and
yes,
after. So
yes, yes.
So you can start off before anytime.
Yes, yes. So there is going to be a baseline survey after we receive the applications. That will be the opportunity for us to do the before. And then as we come and visit regularly, we get the chance to do it. I think now what I'll do is Godwin is ready for his presentation on the website. But that question you asked, when he is done, I'll hand over to the meal officer. Mr. Adeshino is the one who is on top of the plans and all of that, and he will just talk us briefly through on that.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Permit me to stand on the briefing protocol. My name is Godwin Oji. I'm the IT CRM officer for the Brave Women project. I'm here to take you basically on the application process and platform. So basically, what I'm talking about is how you can complete the application form in essence. We'll try our best to make the application form as simple as possible. We'll be looking at this on the website and the required documents and how you can navigate it. For the purpose of this, permit me to just beside my laptop while I give the presentation. But before I do that, you can all see on the projected screen a bit about the Brave Women Nigeria project. The project manager has spoken about it a lot, and my colleague has also contributed on this. So I'll not be going into this in detail, but I will basically be doing a practical online demonstration of how you fill the form. So let me just read through this slide, then we'll start in a minute. So it says that the Brave Women program is a multi-donor fund implemented in Yemen, Nigeria, and Burkina Faso. It's currently being implemented in Nigeria. It's been done in Yemen and Burkina Faso. Basically, the application platform. So we have 3 major application platforms. So we have the project website, the CRM, and the dashboard, basically. So for the project website is where we have basically the registration form itself. The project website also goes to showcase all activities and the project. So let me quickly go straight to the website and demonstrate how we work. So as I've listed here, the website is basically on the registration bravewomenng.com. Okay, so as you can see, this is the website. To access it is very simple. You just simply go to the browser and type bravewomenng.com, and it should lead you to this website. Now, from the website itself, from the home page, you can actually see a number of things, call to action, where you can register, access the registration portal or the registration form. So anywhere you see register, any of the buttons take you to the registration form. So basically, as my colleague has said and the project manager has said, we have 3 major categories of potential beneficiaries. So we are looking at SMEs, business, and business association. So after typing bravewomenng.com, I I can simply go to any of these things, either to the menu where it says register, or just simply through this button where it says register. So I decided to click on register, wait for it to load, and it will load. So this is basically the registration on landing page. This is where you should be when you want to register. So you can see the three categories of potential beneficiaries. So if you are a woman, if you are a woman-led SME, you simply click on the woman-led SME box to apply, or if you are a lead, you go to the lead or business association. For more information on that, you can simply go to the menu and see where we have explained what lead is and what a business association is or cooperative, or what an SME is. So underneath each of these boxes, you also have the requirements and what the grant that is that will be allocated to each of these categories. So if you look at the SMEs, we have the available grant for SMEs between 5,000 to 15,000 USD. So you can also see some of the requirements. So before you even start the registration process, for instance, for SME, we say it must be located in any of the project states, Gobi, Kano, or Edo State. So we are now in Edo State. So by that, you know if you are an SME, that you have met one of the population. It has to be women-owned SME, or those SMEs in which women own 51% or more shareholding in the enterprise, and so on and so forth. But what I'm actually on this page is the required documents. So my advice for potential the applicant would be to come to this page and look at go to the box that concerns you. So if you're an SME, the first box has a list of requirements, documents that you will need in filling the form. So you are required to go to this box and just simply click where you belong. So this is SME. For women-owned SMEs, so what you must have to allow your application process to be completed successfully include certificate of incorporation from CAC, SMEDA certificate, company procure with this, so memorandum of understanding of association, and so on and so forth. So a list of those things are there. But as the project manager has explained earlier, you could also do a note to that effect. So once you have these documents, my advice again would be to try and get these documents in a folder on your desktop. So I'm going to have all my documents, even if you don't have them in PDF form. So the application process, the application portal has been designed to accept three basic document types: the PDF, normal portable document format, the JPG, and the PNG. So if you take your phone and snap your CAC certificate, it's normally stored as a PNG or a JPG. So it means that the application portal will accept that. So you can also use that to store it together. And the same way, if you have it in PDF, you can also put it in a folder before you start the application. So to start this application, let's just assume that we are one of these. Should we go for an SME, ITFED, or business association? SME. Okay, so if SME, you simply go to the box for SME, and it will flip and just allow you to apply. So you click on apply. You can also apply from underneath it where it says apply anywhere. Just make sure you apply under what you want to apply for. So if I apply to this process, I click on apply and I wait for the form to load. The first thing you see on the form basically the registration closing date. So it tells you you have 10 days, about 2 hours left. So just to keep a reminder, so you can complete your form before then. If it's extended, it will also be reflected there. The next thing to see is basically the form itself. Now what we've done is because of the length of the form, to keep people from trying to fill the form properly. We've divided it into sections. So for the SME, though most of the questions are similar for the business, and there are some similarities between the questions for the SME, business, and the business association. But for the SME, particularly, we have 5 different sections. So the light section is where you attach your document or where you attach your relevant document. The first section is typically the personal information of the business owner. The second section is the defense information. The third section is plant action requirement. The fourth section is performance, business performance in 2020. And the final section, as I said, where you attach your document, the general information. I'll just do a brief test with what I call the sample document. So I've downloaded the sample document, PDF, very small document. I advise also that to make the process easier for you, try and compress your document so that they are not more. So I'll use that in place of the document, and I'll just use the test name. Let me also mention here at this point that applications have already started coming in, especially from the other states we have visited. Also, there have been some applications from those states as well. So if you've not done you will have a chance to do it now. So we are doing that process. The first question is also all questions are actually compulsory of the form. So when you see the asterisk button on it, it shows that it's a compulsory question. For the documents themselves, there are some questions that are not required. So if it's not required, you will have the asterisk indication missing there, obviously. So I'll start with this. Name, of course, you see your name, but I'll just use the test name for now so that we can not go through the process. Gender is a drop-down box, so you select your gender. So if you are male or female, remember the requirements under each of them, but if you are male or female, you fill that. So I'll just select, you don't need to type it, I'll select, let me say I am male, of course, but let me say I am female for the purpose of this. Then you go down. Date of birth is actually a date of birth field. So once you click on it, you click inside the box, it brings out the link for date of birth field. So you are just required to pick your date of birth. You can navigate your date of birth from any of these things. For this, I will just pick October. Let's say October 6, 2004. So that takes it down. So for the phone number, you make sure that you can see it's already a Nigerian phone number. So you just make sure it's a normal Nigerian registration phone number. So that is the level is. So let me use the dummy number for that. The email address, you can use another address, but you fill in your required email. Your address, you fill in your address, and just make sure, since the box is compulsory, make sure you fill your address. I'm just going to use test address here. So for this, the next question is actually a drop-down field. That's for your educational qualification. You click on the box and simply pick your educational qualification. That's to make things very easy for you. So if you don't have any formal education, you simply pick no formal education. If it's first coding education, you pick it, or postgraduate degree. So I'm just going to say no formal education. So I'll click on the next box. So once I click on the next, it takes me to the next section. So that's first information. Mind you, if I've not completed any of those boxes, or if I've not answered any of those questions, however easy they are, it won't allow me to go to the next section. So you need to have responded to all those other questions. So the first question under first information is basically the name of organization. Full official name as used in the document. So Okay, sorry. So there's a black corona that is blocking some of the 360s. That corona is just kind of what it's back. So that's what we're talking about. The name of organization and written in your document. So let's use test just to get this test organization, just to get this moving. State where the organization is registered. If you click on that, you will see a list of Nigerian states. So you simply pick your state where the organization is registered, as reflected in your document page. So exactly what is in the document. So let me assume I registered my organization in the state. So that's done. The next question is state where organization operates. So I'm going to pick the same thing as those states. Of course, if the organization is a bit firm or if it's a bit firm or a business association or cooperative, of course, you know the scope is nationwide. Of course, you pick the right state when you operate from. Address of organization, we use test address. You have to get this going. Okay. So the next question is actually type of business. So the business explanation is that it specifies the nature of work. Example. The entire school or bakery. So let's assume we are running a bakery. So we just click on bakery. So the organization's phone number, which is different from your personal phone number. So I'll just enter on that phone number. Then the organization email next. The first few questions is you have a so it's a yes or no question. So you simply click on the box and pick a drop down. Now, something that I need to explain at this point, for most of the questions that are, when you answer yes, more questions come out. So if I say yes, I could bring up more questions, but so I'm saying no for now. So the organization sector is the next. It's also a drop down view. So you click on the box and select the organization sector. So if you belong to commercial, service, industrial, production, or other. If you don't belong to any of these, you simply click order. So I'll just say orders for now. And the value chain sector, same thing. You click on it and you click where it belongs. The next question is, due to the current situation, did you change your field of work to keep your organization going? So, yes or no? So I will say no. So I say yes, bring up more questions. What is the size of the organization based on the number of clients? So we have a list of sizes. So for clients, number of clients. So you just pick the number that your organization falls into. So if you want 1 to 4, 5 to 19, 20 to 99, or 99 and above. So I'll just pick 5 to 96 and then the number of permanent employees, males. So you have to just put the number of permanent employees you have. And purpose of the number of permanent employees females you have. Let's say 2. The average salary in Naira, 40,000. The number of temporary workers you have there, you put it there. The number of temporary workers you have there, you put the figure, you type in the figure. Then the average annual wage for them, you type in the figure also. So another question that appears here is do you employ IDP workers? The yes or no question. So you want to make the box, it brings up the drop down. So you click yes or no. For the purpose of this, I will say no. So what is the organization capital in Naira? So you just simply type your organization capital in Naira. Then you see, and you click next. So it goes to the third section. So that is where you answer questions for the matching grant requirement. This is where you answer questions for the matching grant requirement. So do you have the ability to pay 50% of the matching grant in case you receive it? Yes or no? So you click on the box. If you have the ability, you say yes. If not, you say no. Now, if I say yes, a new question comes up. So the question is, in case you answer this yes, what is the sum you can contribute to? So you now have to click on the box and pick the sum you can contribute to. So if I said yes, probably I can contribute to 2,000 to 4,900 USD. I'll pick it. The next question is, do you have a bank account? Yes or no question. Of course, if you say yes, other question comes out. So we say yes. The next question that comes out, because we said yes, is in case you have answered this yes, please specify the bank. So we have a list of banks there. Once you click on it, those are the partner banks with the project. Of course, you can also have other banks that are not within the list. But for the partner banks, I want to say there. So if you are Access, you are Jai, your Suntrust, or your Wema Bank, or otherwise you say others. The next question that comes up is if the contribution that you can make is less than 5,000 USD, can you take money to pay the contribution amount from the partner bank? So it's also a yes or no question. If your answer is yes, you can take money, you click on yes. Otherwise, you say no. Do you have documents and evidence of your business? Yes or no? Let's say no. But if it's yes, you say yes, so more questions to come out. When was the business launched? So you put the date field, so once you click on it, you check your certificates and your documents and you see the date, and let's just pick today, of course, you can't do this. So let's just pick the date and it will appear there. When was the last renewal? Last renewal, you click on it, it's also the date field, and you pick the date for it. So same time, we're just going to pick. Of course, we know how to navigate the date now. Are you willing to invest additional capital in excess of the amount to be provided by the project? Yes or no? So if you are willing to invest additional capital,
He says, when was the business?
Yes.
What was the last renewal? What are you doing?
okay.
Explain to me.
All right, thank you, sir. Basically, the project manager or any of my colleagues will come to talk about this at the end of the day. As I have said earlier, just kind of demonstrating this process so that we know how to go through it. I'll give room for questions and we'll talk about it just in a minute. So let's just go through it. So I'm not supposed to explain it. So thank you. Are you willing to invest additional capital in excess of the amount to be provided? So I'll say no. So you now click on the next button to go to the next field. So this is the fourth field. So this is one question that asks about the business performance in 2020. So the first question is, how many innovations did you introduce in 2020? So the exact number. So there's a definition there. It can be innovative products, process, or service, new to the sector or industry in the whole of Nigeria state local government. If not, intercept. So I was thinking no, down zero for none. But if you have a number for that, you put it there. Next question is, how many new products or services did you introduce in 2020? The exact number. So I'm just going to put the exact number. Let's say 5. How many new markets did you access in 2020? Exact number. Of course, you can always put zero if any of those not resolution or those that are not. So I'm next question is, was your business affected by lockdown due to COVID-19 in 2020? Say yes or no view. So you just need to pick whether your business was affected or not. So I'll say no, because if I say yes, there are other persons that will come up. But of course, in your case, you think that you will just pick the right one. Next question, what were the effects of the lockdown on your business operation and performance? So if there's no effect, you simply type no effect. If there's an effect, you type in the effect. For instance, my business was closed down or whatever it is. So you just type in the application platform will affect you. Have you secured any money from financial institutions in 2020? So yes or no question. If we say yes, a new field comes out. Okay, so we'll simply just quickly view this and go straight to the point where we are going to document. How extend you feel your business was in 2020? We already have answers for this question. So basically, we have a lot of yes or no questions there. Of course, we should just read them and answer as appropriate. I'm trying to, because most of these questions are required, so I'm trying to take it to the final stage of your document. Okay, so this is the final section. Very general information. This is where we upload and document. But the first question is how is business about doing? So just tell us how you read when it's about you. Then attachment, proof of project existence is attached to you. So those things are listed on the landing page. Time to attach them. So as I said, I've downloaded the sample document. I'll just show the attachment process. So once you click on the box, for this one, the first one is certificate of incorporation. That is from CSC. So once I click on the box, it allows me to open my desktop on my local machine. So I simply go to the folder I said about it earlier. You go to the folder you have made, so you just all your documents. And just pick each of them. So for me, I'm using the sample document as my example. So once you click on it, you wait for it and you watch the bar. Once it's uploaded, it will appear this way. So it shows that it has been uploaded successfully. So you go to the next required document. Of course, you can always, if you make a mistake, you can always cancel with the upload it before you submit. The next is medium certificate. Also required, you can see the format here, the PNG, JPG or PDF. The medium certificate, so the same thing appears for the medium certificate. I'm going to click on the box and simply click on my medium certificate, then upload. I'll wait for it about a minute and it's uploaded. So I'll go to the next one. And I'll do a similar thing for it. And it's uploaded. The memorandum of administration, same thing. The next document, professional license. Evidence of rent payment. Now, annual report is not mandatory to you, but if you have it, you just upload it. Then we have the bank statement for the last 12 months, also compulsory. Then the final one is just a question. So when they say it's registered as a business name, more than one owner, the partnership name. So if you have that, you upload it. Otherwise, it is not necessary because it's not a requirement. So the final thing on the form is just a confidentiality statement, which goes to say that where your information will be used. Of course, we're not going to share your information with any other person other than you, IISD, WIFI, and the Grand Revenue Panel. I'll let the PM speak to that. Aside that, you simply click on submit. And once you click on submit, you get a thank you. We are now receiving the application form. So that is basically how you navigate the application form and submit your application. Thank you. Any questions? We'll receive them.
When he finishes, he will call me to explain my age for them.
So there is question for Jay.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just before the presentation was made, a question was asked about the monitoring and evaluation. So I'm here to provide some information for you in that area. For the MIE function of the project, we have the MIE officer in Abuja, and that's my very good self. Then at the project stage, we have the project officer. The project officer is also a member of the committee, and also we have what we call mobile officers. These mobile officers, we have 3 in Edo, 3 in Gombe, and 4 in Kano. And they, as well as the project officer, will constitute the MIT at the state level. So as regards our role, what we're going to be doing is that we're going to adopt 3 approaches for MIE. The first one is that it shall be promoting investors' confidence. Now what this means is that as we come to you, because when the project starts, you will see us a lot. As I'm communicating with you from Abuja, the project officer who you already see a lot will also be visiting you, and then the mobile officer will be visiting your businesses. You know, for the investors, For the investor, it's important that if they are investing money in your business, that they see the results. The first thing they want to see is that, yes, you are using that money as you have signed, based on the agreement that you have signed with them. And we are supposed to provide that evidence. The evidence we are going to provide is that you will bring to your business. We have done site verifications. We have seen your equipment. We have seen your staff. We have seen your spaces. And then we have seen that your business is taking place on a daily basis. And the point is this: if the investors are happy with what they are hearing and the evidence they see, and they are so happy with the result, what it means for Nigeria is very great. It means you can apply for the next round, which means therefore that if your business is accessing the grant for the first round, it can also go to the second round. So by coming to you, collecting information, providing to the investor confidence rises. And also our second approach is to support all the business to be successful. So when we come to you, either the project officer or the global officer at the state level or myself, what we want to know is what information do you need? What exactly are the challenges? And then we're there to support you and to provide them. For example, if you look at the way accountants operate, if you want an accountant in the office, you know they are professionals. So let me say also professionals. I tell the accountant, oh, I need a profit and loss account statement to show the result of my activities. I want to find it by sales. Then of course we will sit with you, take you step by step, look at your records. The same thing we are going to be doing with you. We are professionals. We know your problems and we want to identify with you your problems. I want to sit with you and how to solve it in such a way that you will be satisfied and you will also be satisfied. And the third approach is that we provide information that you need in a transparent basis. For example, donor regulations. We will tell you the donor regulation on this matter is SSX. And this is how you can go about it to ensure that you obey it. For example, look at assets. When you procure your assets, the donor expects risk management. And one of the risk management measures is insurance. They expect insurance to protect that equipment. And it's from the funds that is in your account, the equity contribution and the matching contribution from the donor that you're going to use for it. And the advantage is this: if that equipment is stolen, if that equipment is damaged, the insurance company is going to pay you back almost 100%. They are going to deduct some money, but you will get back about 90%. So we're seeing instead of your business to suffer stoppage, within a short time, you can buy back that equipment and continue your production. So we shall advise you on this area and how to get benefit, and also so many other areas. Now, what are our roles? We have 4 roles. The first role is accountability. Accountability is a key function of the MIA section. And in that accountability, what do? We protect you. What do I mean by saying we protect you? As you may know, our women are among the underserved population. They are among the marginalized population. So we'll come to you and say, okay, how is your business doing? How are your sales? Are your people working very well? What of your staff? Are they productive? What can we do for you? What problems are you facing? And then we also need to know, is anybody troubling you? Is anybody asking you for money for payment on this project? I want to tell you here now that you are not supposed to pay anybody any money for any service on this project. The staff are already being paid. The consultants are coming to you are also already being paid. Nobody can exploit you. We have our complaint channels. If you need to give us information, we have our email, we have our website, where you have to contact us. We have our social media accounts, and then we have our telephone numbers. And of course, when we are coming for your business, we'll get the phone numbers of the program manager, the communications officer, the project officer, even the main officer. So if there's any complaint that you want to let us know, if you just call those lines and we shall be able to resolve it. And then I want to say that our staff and consultants too are under, they are under the expectation, the obligation to protect the interests of all female business owners. There should be no exploitation, there should be no abuse whatsoever, and there should be maximum respect. And then our second role is monitoring. Now, what do we do monitoring? What we do is that we'll come back to your businesses on a monthly, quarterly basis to collect business data. Before we come, we will talk with you and inform you that we are coming to so date. And then before we come to your business, we can send to you the information we want for the customer. And this information is only related to your business performance, your sales, your profits, your customers, your marketing activities, your debtors, your receivables. The only thing that we're going to do for you here is that if we observe that your business does not have the records to produce these reports, we can sit down and work with you so that you can be generating the records properly and accurately and in a way that it will satisfy your interest and that of the donor. I hope you understand what I mean by that statement. Because when you are talking to business owners about their account reports, they are thinking of so many things. We have had in other workshops where business owners will tell us that there are multiple transactions in Nigeria. Business owners don't want to either use corporate bank accounts or to keep records because they are ready for tax. We understand that problem and we can sit with you and work that out with you. The most important thing is this: every business must keep records and a system which we can get. So we'll be looking at the option, agree on the particular option, and then you have the records that you can transfer to our form, and then we will then collect the information from that form. What the donor wants is that the donor wants to receive that report on a monthly basis. The first set of information will be collected on a quarterly basis, and thereafter monthly basis. And of course, there are what to call satisfaction surveys. As we are going along, we want to know how satisfied with you. For example, with the procurement process, with the disbursement of funds to your account, with the advice of our consultants. How do you find the activity? Are they satisfied to you? Are they solving your problem? There are a whole range of issues in business management. Talk of sales, talk of cost management, talk of supply chain management, talk of cash flow management, talk of management of debtors, talk of management of payables and the rest of that. So these are the issues that we are looking at so that you have to. Then also, our third area of work is in the area of learning. That learning means that we organize meetings. Also organize meetings in small groups so that we can discuss our transactions and activities and see where we are successful and where we are not. So that we can then look at next steps. We know, for example, for example, the pattern base is like 200 SMEs. We're not dealing with staff for them. So we want to look at the way of organizing the meetings, maybe of valuation, those in agribusiness, education, health, energy, or textiles. If valuation is very large, we break them up. Then we can talk of small group meetings or also talk of online meetings. What we want to do is that we want to hear from you. What is it that in our transaction activity we are successful and successful and we shall do the next step? Then we shall do video documentaries. We'll come around to your businesses, look at the process activities ongoing. We'll do video documentaries. Then also we shall do success stories. We shall do picture stories and then review meetings. The last thing that we shall be doing is the evaluation. In that evaluation, the first thing is baseline survey. After the application closes and we have selected the beneficiaries, we are going to do a baseline survey. On that survey, we shall be coming around all the states. And myself, the Abuja team, as well as the state team will be involved in that. Then we shall be doing what we call the midterm survey. That midterm survey is it will come up end of that December 2022. Is to say we're operating for 12 months or 14 months. Let us see how far we have gone with all our indicators. And then of course there's the endline survey. The endline survey is the one at the end of the project. And of course, we want to see after the project, we want to see how far we are achieving the various objectives. And of course, on the performance basis, there's also one there, the result evaluation. That is for every activity we have done, we want to see the impact of that activity on the various indicators. So those are the 4 areas of M&A: accountability, monitoring, and learning, as well as evaluation. In order to save our time, I think I will stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. So we've come to the end of the event. Thank you very much for your patience. I would like to invite the president of PETSIMA for the closing remarks. From our Mrs. Iron.
Here and the PO, the past speaker came to us with vital information about it. So I will suggest that subsequent interactions of this nature, such article talk should come to take place when a lot of participants are there. The second thing I want to say is that in his array of people that are supposed to play a role in the evaluation and monitoring, and they all hear the role of the participating financial institution, PFI. So I expect that if we are taking a bit of time to be able to give somebody's account to monitor, open account, and all of these things, that person or that bank should have a vital role to play. You are talking about Abuja here, and here you're talking about African people, you're talking about 1,000 people. How will you do it? So I know you have consultants, but PFI should play a very important part. And lastly, if your rules and your procedures are not cast on stone, I want the project manager to listen to this. Livestock, feed in livestock takes 80% of the entirety of the expenditure. In Burkina Faso, they have maize everywhere. It is not an issue for them. In Yemen, they have all those things from neighboring states. In Africa, in Nigeria, you cannot forget the fact that vandalism and banditry has overwhelmed the north that is in the food basket of the south. So if you are saying that Egypt does not form a critical aspect of livestock, then we need to revisit it. And like I said, if it's not cast on stone, I will want you guys to go back and calibrate the objectivity of what you want to do. I want you to see how you can handshake with the bank of industry. I'm happy that Chris stood up and said, provided you have met our conditions, we will see how we can take you in. I want to add to that it's just not meeting our conditions. The POI should handshake with the PFI, let the develop adequate products line. And I know that POI has so many products. You can figure it out that to be able to handshake with this project in order to be a success. If not, by the time you know people, and now as it's not bringing their natural food, you see what's going on. Remember, we have just come out of COVID. And in COVID, banks were asked not to ask anybody to be from now. And we are here saying that how much you have to provide, I can give you money for. You cannot fly. So how do you think in subsequent interactions, let us know how much you want to look at this issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the points you raised. I mean, as you said, it's for us to go back and think about. I will certainly go back and think about them. But again, maybe what I need to just say and clarify is that Yemen, Burkina Faso that you mentioned have all faced the same COVID challenges that we're talking about. In the case of Yemen, in addition to COVID, they've also had to deal with drawn-out conflicts. And I will say it again, Nigeria, we're the giant of Africa. We are, if it could work in Yemen, it can work here. So that would be my response to that. We're not saying it's easy. You are all businessmen and women. I think you know better than I do that operating a business is not easy, even at the least of time. So it's not easy, but it doesn't mean it can't be done. So that's my response to that. There was one comment I wanted to make quickly and reiterate. As Mr. Godwin was making his presentation, we would have seen that there were certain fields, and I think I mentioned this already, certain fields that are compulsory. The fact, I'll say it again, the fact that you don't have your CAC registration, you don't have all those documents, doesn't mean that you cannot fill in that form. As I've said before, and I'll say it again, please write a cover letter. This is my application for my business under this category. We've been operating since so and so. These are the documents that I have available, and let's attach those. Where documents are required, you don't have CAC, but you have that letter. Attach that. That will stand in lieu. And as we said, by the time we are processing the grant applications, we will be expecting that you've completed the entire formalization process. Because at that point, if we haven't, we cannot really proceed forward with any applications. On that note, we're coming to the closing, and Ma, please, I will hand over to you to say those things.
Thank you very much for this whole workshop. It has been a wonderful one. And I am the president of the Benin Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, and we are the apex body of the organized private sector. So I stand here not only for Benzema, I also stand here for the organized private sector. And let me just mention this, that, I was elated when they told me that Edo State was one of the states that were involved in this program. And I was telling them. I also stand here as a woman. And I must say I'm grateful. With women, we have been marginalized. Our theme of this year says we are going to challenge, we choose to challenge. So now that we are getting programs that is going to help women, we are very happy about it. Thank you for it. I want to thank you, Samika. I want to thank BOI. I must tell you that this your workshop has been very explicit, because we have been wondering, this is when we looked at the platform, your portal, we say, this thing is too difficult for us to, but you have made it so explicit, and I'm happy about it. Thank you, our project manager. Thank you. Even I have to thank our examination officer. Thank you, Mr. Howard. Thank you very much. I thank all the state representatives. Without the state representatives, we work together with the private sector. And this project is really for us. After the COVID and all the challenges, we are seeing light somewhere. And I am also very happy about the people you have said you work with, women-owned businesses, lead firms, and even business associations. In that way, you are touching everybody. If you say, okay, micro is not included with the MSMEs, what of the lead firms that will work with the micro? Thank you very much for that. And then business associations like us. We work with so many groups of associations, and we can stand for them. So thank you very much for that. And then your program objectives, oh, wonderful. I even though a lot of us here, where do they want us to, after the matching, where do they want us to get budget capital? But Nigeria is the one. I'm sorry to say, it's my country, and I'm proud of it, because I'm proudly Nigerian. Anywhere I go, I'm proudly Nigerian. But yes, if you give people money without equipment, the money will have a sleep. So it's very good that you are giving us equipment, we have to solve the money. Even though, like our guy said, very true, with this COVID and everything, the getting money and funds is very difficult. But there's nothing good that comes to it. So we have to go through all that. But thank you. Thank you that you have made yourself available for us, that we can call you at any time to help us to build this thing. I'm especially thank he came to the chamber, he explained everything to us, and it made us, happy about it. He even told me, because I'm in the health sector, and I was telling him, oh, we need some equipment. He told me, please, apply, which is good. So we're going to work on applying, and we're happy that you can open your gates and say, anytime you have problems, you can come to me. Thank you very much, Eli. Thank you very much. Let me back to January project for all our staff, all our staff associations, and seeing how well. And I also especially recognize my IPP, my immediate past president of the new Chamber of Commerce. So you see that from one woman to the other woman. Thank you very much, and God bless.
Nothing good comes easy. So for the closing remark, I would like to invite the state manager for BOI Edo State, Mr. Christopher, on the.
I think Madam has technically done the work I'm supposed to come and play here. Thank you so much, ma'am. On behalf of my state office, BOI, the UI family, on behalf of the Brave Women team, I would like to appreciate everyone. We sincerely appreciate your honor and invitation. We thank you most sincerely. In as much as I don't want to be specific, I won't be fair to myself, and I won't be fair to some of the houses that are very represented here that are here this morning. The president of Nasima did tell you is that she virtually emptied her office for the sake of this program today, because she came along with her vice president, she came along with her teaching. I also want to appreciate my daddy. I call him my daddy and my mentor. He came all the way from Asaba to honor and invitation. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you. It is so marvelous. The Ministry of Wealth Creation, the Ministry of Federal Ministry of Finance were represented. We also have with us the zonal coordinator of SMETA. He has been patiently waiting here this morning. We appreciate you, sir. God bless you. Nancy, we appreciate you. And every other person that I can't mention here, we sincerely thank you. We appreciate you for honoring our invitation. I really want to drop my microphone without appreciating the gentlemen of the press. Thank you, bless you. Sabiho, I think represented Genius Law. We thank you for being here. God bless you. And those that are from other states, pray that God will guide you back to your station. Thank you. Before I say the last thank you, please. We've been here talking about the brave women and brave women. But I also want to talk about BOI itself. We have mass watering program for entrepreneurs. As we know, we have office just located two through from this place by the Edo Production Hub. So we have special product for entrepreneurs in Edo State. Like my regional manager mentioned, this is the best time for entrepreneurs in Edo State. We have programs that are rolling up. Thank God the COVID-19 is gradually giving way. We have special programs we are trying to unveil for entrepreneurs. And this is one of it. We have another special one that is coming. The mouthpiece of management here today. So I really want to mention it, because if I mentioned it, we have a special program. We are trying to unveil before the end of this month. We are entering special collaboration with the state government, and they are coming up with a program of mouth watering with very friendly terms and conditions. So maybe one time we need to also invite you again. I'm very positive that you still have my invitation. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you, sir. So we officially come to the end of the event. I would like to say thank you and please encourage, because I believe it's a slow start, but with this event we've had, like I mentioned earlier, you can always think of just call or just send us a message as usual. We can always reply to your case to have a meeting with you. So if you have other SMEs that need clarification or associations, we are also available. Thank you very much.
My name is Helen Iwagini. I'm the Vice President South for African Women Entrepreneurship Program.
Oh, that's so nice to meet you, Ma. Can you tell us how you heard of Brave Women?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, one of the positions I hold in our even before then, I'm interested in I do my own business. I'm into fashion. And I had a very good relationship with the Ministry of Education. From there, I do a few businesses and I'm very good to Dubai because of that. So I was actually the first contact they made because of my relationship with women, so that I can start planning how to get women organized. That's how I heard directly from them.
Okay, so what do you think about the project? Do you think this project can help women of Edo State?
Of course, yes. Edo State women have really been marginalized for a very long time. I've been in Lagos. I worked a while in Lagos. I worked a while in Abuja. I've been in Port Harcourt. These women are there in politics, in everything. These states know the wherewithal. They have the finances to do what. When I came down here to Edo State, my intention was actually to start my own business. It wasn't easy for me. I now realized that, number one, women are not really recognized in businesses. The male folk had everything. So I came up, I had to start taking our from place to place, up to the House of Assembly, everywhere. And one question the men, of course, before I bring your wife into a woman into our home, I will have to see the man if she's married. Because if the man does not accept the wife joining a women association, there's just no point. It will not work. Because I like bringing the men into our decisions. They help to tailor our decisions. I told them we are not a threat to the male. Rather, we want to help the women to help them to organize the home better, and that helps the association. So one thing they asked me, some men asked me was, what are your duties? I now told them, I said, we go for fairs, and these fairs can be outside the country. One of them asked me and said, you mean you are going to take my wife to the US, take my wife to the UK, take my wife to Turkey, Dubai, and then me, I will sit down. My wife will not have all the money. And how will she now classify me in the house? Is she not the breadwinner, or I am the breadwinner? So that became a very difficult task. Now, I'm very happy with the Brave Women project. It doesn't just specify that it is, although they call it women-led, it also says that the businesses can be men's businesses that have maybe 21% of women in the organization, or the woman holds 51% shares. That is what really interested me, because now it was possible for me to move to the men and say, hey, is your business, is it you and your wife, or is just you alone? What is the article of association? This is what we are doing. And it has helped many men to organize their women. Some who didn't even have it, the article of association, have gone back now to rewrite the article. That's the interesting part of it. To rewrite the article of association and recognize their wives in their businesses. So it's going to go a long way to even help the home, rebuild the home. Because some men didn't recognize their wife. Now they are recognized. So when they bring small money to you, you will get money, no worry, no problem. So
Okay, so if you could say one thing to the women of Edo State, what would that be about this project?
I want the women in Edo State to key into this project. Number one, we are saying one thing, but I will say more than that. I want them to key into this project. Number one. Number two, when the money comes, they should not forget the man. They should realize that the man still has an advantage over finances. We are in Edo State. So we should be careful. The money is coming. The money will come to us. But we should also listen.
Thank you so much, man.
Okay, my name is Prince Oje. I am a member of the Motor Association of Nigeria. I'm also a member of the Nigerian Association of Small-Scale Industrialists in Delta. I came here on an invitation for this program, and it has been very interesting.
Thank you so much, sir. So can you just tell us what you think about the BRAVE project? You've been here all day, you've heard about it. What do you think the BRAVE project can do for the women of Edo State?
It's a great innovation, it's a great program. The participants have mentioned areas that need to be rejigged or reconsidered or recalibrated, as the case may be. I want to believe that those observations are looked into by the project manager and the project officer. The areas where they need to handshake with the DFI, that is the participating financial institutions, they should do that in time. The issue of the counterpart funding, like we discussed here now, should be looked into. What role can the PFIs play in assisting these people to be able to get that participatory, or what you call that, the counterpart funding? What can they do to assist them? What can BOI do to, So it is very crucial, because somebody's ambition could be dashed based on unpreparedness. Everybody will want to go to get the money, the counterpart funding. If it's not there, the entire project will crumble. So I would believe that with what we have done here today, while people are applying, there will be enough time for the project manager and for all of you to look into some of those areas. And I believe that to be able to success. I'm highly impressed.
Thank you so much, sir. That's really all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Isimeme White, and I work for Genius Hub.
Okay, thank you so much. So, can you tell us some of the things you think about the Brave Women Project?
Okay, Brave Women Project is one of the best projects currently being implemented in Edo, Kano, and Gombe. And by the special grace of God, Genius Hub is benefiting for me in Edo and Kano, because we are present in Edo and Kano. And the most powerful part of this project is the fact that the technical support is guaranteed, and that is what we need as entrepreneurs. So for the fact that also giving us matching funds, my God, that is really, really, really huge. So for me, it's coming at the right time. It's coming when so many entrepreneurs have lost so much money because of COVID. So it's just a perfect timing for also our Brave Women project in Nigeria. Honestly, I am excited and looking forward to this to start the process. And what we are doing at Genius Hub already is to help all our beneficiaries, especially those who are not registered with CAC, who do not have the necessary qualification. So what we are doing is to do a step down from what we have learned today, to be able to carry everybody at that level along, so that they can fully benefit from it. But we don't want to leave anyone behind. Honestly, it is a big opportunity for us to be part of this project. So we are really, really grateful to every stakeholder, from the back of industry, to Brave Women team, and to everyone who have made this happen, to whether Edo State, I think Edo State government, we say thank you.
Okay, if you have one more thing to say to women of Edo State, what will you say to them about?
Women of Edo State, we don't carry last, they carry last. So don't even waste time. Take action, apply. You don't have anything to lose by applying at all. So for me, ask questions, areas where you need help. This is one of the biggest opportunities for women. So don't even hold back. If you need help, I'm available to help you out. So we need to have this matching fund for all our women in Edo State. This is so important. So do not waste time. So take action and be part of this big event, be part of this big intervention. Make sure you tell everyone, whether the person go school, he not go school. So far, the person get business way they do. For at least for the last 1 year, he get business way they do. The person qualify. So I beg, tell everybody, this is another opportunity we don't come Nigeria. So more grab it. So we thank everybody from BOI to Brave Nigeria Project, to the World Bank, to all the stakeholders. Now do well.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.